Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Just Enough Heshy Show. Yeah, we are on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. We have got a lot to talk about today. We have, let me introduce my co-host before we get into anything. Neil Neil doesn't want to say hi, but he's here. He's totally here.
He's not here. The voice of reason is not here.
We can't even see him.
Right, the voice of reason. Where's my voice of reason? Because I'm going to have a mental breakdown without my voice of reason. Go ahead, Esther.
So, yeah, of course, we have Z. You know, he's
What's
here.
up, everybody?
He came twice this time. He was very excited.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about that later. Oh, sorry. Too much.
So, yeah, and we, of course, have our Uncle Heshy, you know.
Thank you,
the
everybody.
Star of the show.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, back to the show. And, of course, I want to introduce my most beautiful co-host, Esty. Yesterday, she didn't wear a flower, but she did wear a necklace flower, and I forgot to tell that to everybody.
That's okay.
But today, the flowers are back in the hair. I am excited. We're having a good time. I want everybody to know, before I start my quote of the night, we have a special guest tonight. Her name is Sarah Halberstam. You are an Orthodox young lady. Is that true?
Religious,
sorry.
Is it religious Orthodox?
Is it, I guess
religious.
So. Religious, Jewish,
spiritual, whatever she wants to call it.
And Sarah's, which we're going to get into a little detail, she's a sex therapist. Is that correct?
I practice sex therapy. Yes, that's correct.
Excellent. So what we're going to do is we're going to get back to you in a minute. Of course, we have to pay for the show, and we have a lot of little things to do. I just want everybody to know. And Neil, where are you, you bum? Anyway.
He's probably listening in his car right now.
He's
arguing with you in his car now.
Neil, I hear your voice, but you know what? I don't really care that you don't hear my quote, because Neil always embarrasses me with my quote. He hates it that I love people and I'm kind. He doesn't like when you talk about it. You made it in time for the quote. I was hoping you missed that quote, just the quote part.
Let me hear.
You got it.
Really
Here we go. This is a good quote. Are you ready for this one? And yes, I made this one up myself.
Again, you're gonna this one is
Abraham Lincoln.
No. If you are changing the world, you are working on important things. You should get excited. You to get up in the morning, but make sure your change is for the kindness and helping of others who are here and now, and not just for your own greed, but for your love of your fellow man.
I hear you say to wake up in the morning excited, huh?
Excited to do good, to be kind, to help somebody out there, Neil. Since you are late, you didn't see our guest today. We have our a special guest co-host. Her name is Sarah Halberstam, and she's going to introduce herself, and she's going to tell us what she does, and then all of you guys are going to ask questions, and of course, she has a little game for us to play, and I told her you're going to be the first one that we're going to play the game with. But you know what?
She will tell me
what she does.
Wake up excited.
Okay, Neil. By the way,
everyone calm down a little bit.
By the way, all of you, last night's show, and before we get to this, I had 100 calls today, and everybody's screaming that Esty picked the wrong side. She was defending some wacko, and Heshy, for the first time.
Wacko? I was just saying that there could be legitimacy to what he said.
Everybody was saying, Heshy, you were the most normal guy on the show last night.
No, there's no way.
No one has ever said that ever. Now we know he's lying. You had us going until the most normal part, then you took it too far.
No, and I want you to know, I'm still disagreeing with all of you. There's no 30,000 rapists, sexual molesters in my neighborhood, and there's no and people are.
Let's hope you never find out.
They're only 3 apartments.
And you know what? And Esty is screaming at me. Yes, 1 out of 5 people get molested. Her whole family was molested. She tells me.
Her whole family was molested.
Your whole family was molested.
What? That's not what I said. I said we all had incidences with creepy people.
Okay,
but I don't understand why.
If you live in Brooklyn, you're gonna have incidences.
It's true, but he's saying it's not possible that there are that many perverts out there.
That in Borough Park, where we have 150,000 people, 30,000 of them are molesters. It's not normal.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Who cares what the number is? Who really cares?
Yeah, it's out there. That's what counts, you know? Watch out.
Who cares?
So our job,
there's something going on
our job is to help them.
And we're not talking about 1 or 2 people.
Okay.
But
Neil, there's always a bad apple somewhere. So
no. This is an orchard.
So why don't we blame again? Why don't we kill all the Muslims because of the few people that blow themselves up?
I'm with killing you. I mean nothing.
Why don't we jail them all? I'm sorry. Why don't we jail them all?
I don't believe in capital.
So, but this guy wants to jail somebody or lock somebody up who has a problem. People have drug problems. People have sexual problems.
What kind of problem?
The point is
a misunderstanding with the what child molestation is about, there seems to be this idea that lock them up, throw away the key because we can't heal them, which is actually in fact wrong if you're looking at the research.
Yeah.
It all depends on the reason why they are molesting, and if it's coming, there's different personality types and there's different reasons why they molest. If it's somebody who is a pedophile and is only attracted to children, yeah, those people, you can do an evaluation and they can't be cured. You can lock them up, throw away the key.
But if
You
it's
can't
something
cure them.
traumatic,
You never cure them.
no.
You can't fight
It's
your
inborn.
urges. But listen, guys, to me,
You can't fight
and
what?
right now, Sarah's going to talk a little bit. I wanted to introduce her what she does, but I know that there's something called Gamblers Anonymous. There's
So let me pull
so
that
people
back.
can be healed. Go
They
ahead,
can
Sarah.
be
Tell us,
healed.
no, Sarah, tell us who you are and what you do.
And tell us where you got those glasses. I'm dying to know.
Yeah. Oh, everybody, YouTube, you can see Sarah. Go ahead, Sarah.
Everybody likes those glasses. All right. So my name is Sarah Shapiro-Halberstam. I am a mental health counselor. I practice with Dr. Michael DeMarco in his private practice in the city. What we do in the practice is we work with psychotherapy, general issues, marriage counseling, and then we do sex therapy. That's our specialty. We specialize in that. Now, let me quickly give my website and my email address.
Shamelessly plug yourself. Go for it.
Yeah, why not?
That's what this show is all about, sweetheart. I'm sorry to tell you that.
My
Go for it.
website is www.mytherapist.info/Sarah. And I'm actually offering...
And we will be posting that on the Just Enough Heshy webpage, Facebook webpage in the next couple of days, throughout the next few days. So in case you need it, or you can just email us and we'll forward you her website. Go ahead, Sarah.
And I'm actually offering 30 minutes free consultations now. So come if you need therapy, not just because you need to sit for 30 minutes. And then my email address...
Do you know anyone that does not need therapy, that wouldn't get good use out of therapy?
No.
Me.
Okay.
I don't need therapy.
My mother has been telling me to go since I
Therapy
came out of the womb.
Heshy.
Since I came out of the womb, the first thing she said was, "You need therapy."
Well, but Esty, who's a therapist expert, keeps
Not a therapist expert. I've just been studying psychology since I'm like 12. Like it's just been part of my life.
And you've been to like 90 therapists.
7, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair share.
Okay, so now that we know a little bit about Sarah, which we're going to get to know more, and something's wrong with her mic, Mr. Producer, where he disappeared on us. Esty, tell us, what show is Sarah sitting in on?
Yes. So everyone listening, you are on the Just Enough Heshy Show. We are on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can get us on Facebook, like our page, Just Enough Heshy. Heshy spelled Heshy. You can get us on Twitter. Follow us, hashtag Just Enough Heshy. We are live on YouTube if you'd like to see what we look like. If you'd like to advertise with us or just shoot us an email, our email address is justenoughheshy, Heshy spelled Heshy, @gmail.com. You can call in at 718-303-9090. We have Mr. Clean, Brooklyn's premier dry cleaning pickup service, and they offer world-class service and the best prices in the industry. They do pickup and delivery free. You can get them, you can email Mr. Clean at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com, or you can call him at 347-369-3051. And if you mention the Just Enough Heshy Show, you get 25% off your first purchase. We have Palm Gardens Adult Daycare Center. You can call Ellie at 917-903-5375. We have Green Line Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection, DOB, HPD, code compliance.
Neil, she's trying to make me some money here.
Permits and plans, preventative maintenance. They lift stop work orders, and they do free consultation.
Neil, if you don't behave, we have the therapist right here to take care of you. She's right here.
Also, now mention our newest
Wait, let me give out the number. The number to Green Line is 718-871-0382. And let's see, Sarah Shapiro, psychotherapy, couples counseling, sex therapy. You can email her at Sarah. No, is this an email address? Sarah at mytherapist.info.
We're going to have to post that. It's too long. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and the number is 1-800-973-0323, extension 709.
Again, one more time.
1-800-973-0323, extension 709.
And if the line is busy, just try again.
I'm just curious, how did you get involved with the show? How did we find her?
First, forget how we found her. So, Sarah, again, I'm going to give you a few minutes. I want you to tell us what. 1 minute, Neil, I can't hear your mic. But Sarah,
how has she found the therapist? Is that
again, your mic. Thank God your mic is not working. I'm so happy.
This is terrible.
Okay.
This is like when you want to get rid of
I
something.
think
He's catching on.
Sarah, on an average day, what do you do? How do you help somebody? Tell us what you do. Like, for example, me and Avram, something, and Esther's going to get upset about this, that we brag about it. But we wake up in the morning, I go feed a mother, I go do some poor people, I feed them, I try to raise money for certain organizations. And then in my job, I go around helping different things by solving people's problems. What is your day, or what is your main, what do you do? I mean,
okay, so my day is divided.
Excuse me. You don't work?
I work every
All
day.
I heard was a list of things that
Do goods, right?
good all day to help and to this.
That's what
I didn't hear a word about work.
I do work. That's how I make my money, by helping people.
This is what I mean when you come from an community where they help you by like collecting charity and stuff like that. That's the kind of help people can get. You know, I don't understand you. Why'd you skip out all the work? Why'd you give us all your good stuff?
Because I'm only a good man.
Okay, so
I gotta rock my head a little.
Okay,
bit.
hello.
So-
Can we let Sarah?
We're not going to attack you.
We're not gonna- all I want to do is talk to Sarah right now.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
You talk.
So good that he has a drink.
Yeah.
We'll keep you occupied.
Keep quiet now.
Yeah.
Get him about 100 pieces of gum.
So I spend my day I'm divided between two worlds, the clinical world and the research world. So the clinical world is where I practice, that's where sex therapy comes into play, or regular psychotherapy for general different issues of anxiety, depression, etc.
Sex has anxiety, depression.
So yeah, well,
When you're old and married, it does.
I'm married.
I'm
I'm not old either.
I'm married
We're gonna get
25
to
years.
that.
I don't have any sexual problems.
Well,
I was waiting.
sex can have anxiety and depression as well, but I was talking about we separately deal with just general depression, general anxiety, general daily issues, not necessarily sex therapy. So you can see a therapist in our practice for your anxiety. You don't have to have a sexual issue.
To Freud, whatever
We
you
don't
say.
practice Freud at all.
I don't think anybody still practices Freud. It's more like we gain stuff from him, but his actual ideals were a little
Okay,
bit.
let's talk about sex. It's way more fun than talking about Freud because he had some kind of interesting ideas.
Cool. I have a question.
I wish my dates would say that. That would be amazing.
So I have a question. At what age do you think, if you haven't had sex and you're not married, do you be like, okay, I'm 40 years old, I should probably do it? Like, at what age is it like, okay, I should probably have sex just because to be part of the normal, like, health-wise or just functional-wise?
So
community.
Okay.
You asked that question wrong. What age do the young girls today?
No.
have
What age
sex?
do
No,
they?
he's
What
not
age?
asking that. Okay.
What age
So
should you?
there's two parts to this. There is no should, and that's what I want to start with, making really, really clear. Sex is very gray. There's no yes, there's no no, there's no rules. It's so gray, and that can be very hard to wrap your head around when you're coming from literally a black and white community, and literally black and white. So yeah, it's very gray. There's no. You're like stealing my mic.
I don't know. I'm bringing you closer to me.
Okay, very appropriate.
Don't move it.
Don't worry, everything's recorded.
So
We have cameras.
so there is no shoulds. There is no.
But I disagree
There's
with
no
you, Sarah.
rules.
I know that when I grew up, and I've seen a lot of the young kids today, young girls today, Jews, not Jews, black,
Right.
white,
So they're having sex at a very young age.
13, 14 years old.
Right.
I know most girls today at
Look how well that's working out for your
at
community.
14 years old, most girls are having sex today, even the
Yes.
Hasidic girls.
Okay, agreed. And that's something I want to talk about, because what's happening is that yes, they're having sex at a very young age, but they have no sex education because we condone this, right?
Do they enjoy it?
How would we know?
We don't.
And even if they didn't, they would still allow a boy, because a boy comes up to them, let's try this. They don't really know what it is.
Excuse me, but that's one time. But there's something called orgasm. I don't mean to be.
See, what are you bringing up?
Okay, so yes, they can enjoy it. It's possible that these young girls, I mean, I'm sure these young girls know how to orgasm. I hope they do. My
No, they
concern
don't.
is that they don't know about protection and condom use.
Oh my
because
gosh.
they don't have education.
The stories I've heard, like, yeah, they don't use any sort of protection, but
No
they expect to not
protection.
get pregnant. I'm like, are
Wait a
you
minute.
kidding
I
me?
don't
Are you
care about
insane?
pregnancy.
You care about disease.
You're a young girl. Did your parents teach you about protection?
Absolutely not. Why? Because they believed that I wasn't going to have sex at the age of 12 or 14. The problem is that
They
very
never
often...
were going to talk to you about it?
About sex?
Yeah.
Well, my mother spoke to me before I got married. But there was no conversation about sex because I grew up in a very religious Orthodox environment, and all my classmates didn't have these conversations.
How old are you, by the way?
Now, what's the difference?
My point is, I taught my kids at the age of 12 and 13. I told them about sex. I sat them down about drugs, even though he's screaming in my ear right now. The producer, I didn't teach him. No,
Heshy, awesome
but everybody's got to do it.
Right, I agree. The problem is it's not happening. Parents don't feel comfortable, and the reason being is because they're thinking if I tell them about condoms, then they think I'm saying you're allowed to have sex. Right. When in fact, research shows that that's not true. Kids who have a proper sex education and proper communication with their parents will start having sex at a later age.
But if you have sex too late, you can have a nervous breakdown by holding all this stuff in.
That's very Freudian.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You're saying it's fine to not have sex till you're 40 and you'll be fine?
You'll probably be very depressed and very anxious for the reason being that everyone around you is having sex, not because there's some sort of crazy chemistry in your body, but because all my friends are having sex, I'm not. There's
so you can go your whole life without it and be fine?
No, because you're living in a society where everybody at the age of 40.
Forget about everyone else. I'm saying for your physical body, it's fine.
You would totally not feel like you're missing out.
I feel that
you have the urges, you have hormones, you have desires.
It's not possible,
especially a boy.
Well, you don't have to have sex. You can just orgasm.
What does that mean?
Well, it's good enough.
Well,
you never had sex.
If you have a really awesome Hitachi vibrator, that's fine.
Oh, so you're saying that masturbation is acceptable? Is needed.
Why not?
Okay.
See, that's what we
Let's
talk
play
about.
my
sex.
game. It's way more fun.
No,
because we're going to cover all the topics.
Before the game, I want to ask you some questions because I have personal issues.
Yeah.
And my issues is not because of me. I do. I work with
I mean, you're the most normal, well-balanced guy we know.
I am, but I work with a lot of young people, and I've seen, and you know, Neil, that I've gone to the hospital many times, and also the mental hospital, where young girls, and I'm talking 21, 22, 23, who tried to kill themselves, commit suicide, girls who have done pot. Esther, you heard that? These people have had issues, and I believe that it's been related because they felt that they gave away the sex for free, or they have nowhere to live.
For free? This comes from very poor sex education.
No, they have nowhere to live, so they move in with a guy who's 35 years old when she's 22 years old because.
Okay, you're running off to other issues.
Yeah, he does that.
You're running off to a whole bunch of whole slew of problems.
So, but this is what I did. So that's what I'm trying to ask you. My point to you is to solve a lot of the problems today, and a lot of people don't understand. Masturbation is a solution.
I thought it's not allowed. Okay, it's not allowed.
So it's not allowed. I'm talking to her. God did not. Where did you hear God say this?
I don't know. I don't agree with it, but
okay.
I don't know.
So masturbation.
And even if you don't agree with it, it doesn't work your way. It happens. It happens.
Okay.
Masturbation is extremely important. Yes.
Like eating?
Let's, for the next 5 minutes, just let her say her thing.
Got it.
And then we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to finish up with masturbation, and then we're going to...
I'm sure you had a plan on what you wanted to do or whatever.
So here, okay. So actually, masturbation comes up in this plan. So I have here a bag with a bunch of topics that people don't talk about.
I thought you had some...
not like food or sex toys.
We talk about everything here.
Okay. So, well, I don't think you've spoken yet about everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass around the bag. You're going to pick out a topic, and you have to say your first response to the topic. Then I'll jump in and tell you my opinion on that. And again, my opinion is all based in my clinical work and my research work and interviewing rabbis. Okay, ready? Yes, I've been interviewing rabbis because I'm doing research on Jewish marriages in the Orthodox community with an emphasis on fidelity and infidelity.
Publishing it?
I don't know yet. When I submit it, it's going to get published.
I'm assuming not Mishpacha magazine.
No, not exactly. It's not being an Eichler's.
Well, let me tell you.
Who's the first brave one on this show?
Well, we're going to.
I'll do it.
No, Neil. We're going to have Neil, the voice of reason, the man who is the straightest person on this planet. Don't touch the mic, Neil. Let it work.
Neil, pick it out. Give your first response, and then I'll interrupt you.
Yeah, just quiet.
Oh, I got two of them.
Can't hear him.
That's greedy.
Sex toys.
Okay, sex toys. What's your first response?
The best.
The best. Okay. Sex toys are extremely important. If you're single, definitely. The little bit of an issue that starts to happen is that guys think sex toys are not for them. There are sex toys for men and there are sex toys for women. And there are sex toys for couples, especially if you're a married couple. Sex toys are awesome. They really enhance the relationship.
What is a sex toy?
So I'm going to recommend Babeland. It's a beautiful sex toy shop in Park Slope, and I think there's a couple in the city as well.
I heard there's
really
a Jewish
nice
sex toy operation running too.
Was it certified kosher?
I heard about it briefly,
the
but I
barbecue
never...
community, they have that. No, but you see, you're saying a toy, so people on our listeners are saying, oh, they wants to buy like a car toy or.
No,
I don't think so. Unless they're 7 years
old. The
old.
most popular one is a vibrator. Something very cool that you can have for couples is I don't know how to call it appropriately, but it's kind of like this ring. Yeah. This is mine. Kind of this ring that vibrates, so both the guy and the girl can have pleasure at the same time. Because
what about handcuffs?
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
Because little newsflash, very few women orgasm from direct intercourse. That one's yours.
Yeah, and you know what?
Let's pass it around.
I can tell you something.
Of course, yeah.
As a guy, and with many guy friends, we've had these discussions, and I just know the psychology of a guy. Guys are afraid of these kind of things because they feel like they're not doing, like, oh, you need help for me? Like, I'm not good enough for you? Or, like, what do you mean you need a vibrator also? It doesn't mean that.
You guys are making fun, but
No, I'm not making fun at all.
No, he's complaining. He's saying guys find it kind of threatening.
Because that's how our brains work. Exactly.
No, but it's not. It actually bonds you as a couple, and there's some awesome
I'm just telling
games.
you the psychology behind it, that guys are very, they're scared of it.
Well, that's not psychology. That's just our society saying that your guy member, I can't think of your SD says not to use that word.
Guy member.
So the thing between your legs,
man parts or something.
Okay, so the man part has to do all its work. It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't have to do all the work. You have 10 fingers. You can go buy sex toys, vibrators, whips, if you are. If we'll speak about that.
Oh my God! Linda, are you listening to this, Linda? Linda, pay attention.
You really like my Purim costume. I was 50 Shades of Grey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different lubes with different flavors. There's edible panties.
That's why you need kosher.
Kosher
edible panties.
There are some amazing.
You're jumping the gun with when you said you need the toys for orgasm. I know that
we don't need the toys for orgasm. I never said that.
But a lot of people can't orgasm just plain alone.
Through
so
intercourse.
I've heard, and a lot of the Jewish young kids today are choking themselves and hanging themselves.
Okay, BDSM, you're jumping again. I have it in my basket.
Oh gosh. Okay, no, I'm scared of that.
You're scared of that.
Oh God, it's my turn.
You're scared of it.
We're going to talk about BDSM, which is bondage, discipline, sadism, masochism. We will talk about it. What do you have?
Masturbation.
Awesome. You were waiting for that all night. Masturbation. Here it is. Wait, you have to go first. That's how the game goes.
Oh, so my first thought of masturbation would be 2 women.
2 women?
Right.
Masturbating each other.
No. No man.
He's thinking lesbian.
No, because I'm a religious Orthodox Jewish man.
Oh, you can never get an answer from this guy. I tell you.
This is gonna be a long show.
My God, what are you talking about?
Let me finish.
So you're saying women masturbating?
No man could ever masturbate without 2 women being there.
Being where? In your mind, you mean?
Yeah. No problem. That's his erotic fantasy.
Most men think masturbation is only because with women being the picture.
Okay. I don't know, Heshy, where you take that from, but I understand that that's your fantasy. And
no, it's not my fantasy. I don't fantasize, everybody. I don't.
Right, Linda. He only thinks of you.
I have a hard time believing that. Let's talk about simple, pure masturbation of what the definition is. We have a female masturbating and a male masturbating.
How old do the young females and males start masturbation?
So there's, it can be at about the age of 6, sometimes younger.
No way.
So
6?
And yes, I've had.
They don't know what it is. They don't know what it's called. They just know.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know what they're doing. They know if I touch myself there, I'm gonna feel pleasure.
You lost.
Now here's the problem.
You lost 2 years.
Woman, stop. There's no way there's no way an age of 6 kid can masturbate.
They actually can. They touch themselves. They don't know that what they're doing is sexual.
but
They know what they're doing is
Neil,
I just know that it feels good.
No. I don't want to say that. I want to know what age do they know what's going on with.
Oh, okay. So that would be at a younger age, depending on how sexually forward they are. So it can be at about the age. It's really young now. At the age of 8, they might know. They might
But
know.
I'm told by all the
what they're doing is actually sexual.
I'm told by all the rabbis and lady teachers that God forbid that anybody will ever masturbate prior to. It's not. First, it's not allowed according to Esty.
Yeah, which
But
is
that's not allowed.
BS. Everybody
does it. Nobody does it. And whoever does it is going to burn in hell.
Okay, so
By the way, I hate that. I hate that God did that to us. Why?
No. Let's clarify.
Wait a minute. My producer's screaming at my producer's screaming at my
all those people here are the least mature.
No.
This is like being in 4th grade.
I don't know why. Why you laughing, Neil? You're my voice of reason.
Okay, can I clarify?
What the hell?
Wait a minute, what hell?
What the hell?
We're not going to hell. We're not going to talk about
I'm
that.
definitely going to hell, but not for
No,
that.
I meant we're not
But
talking about
Sarah,
that
you
issue.
see that we're religious Jewish people.
It has
How
nothing
do
to do
we
with
go
that's
in-
not what she's
But
here for.
no, but this is a bad topic.
She's not a
for us.
rabbi.
Hold on. This is a bad topic for us to talk about, isn't it?
No.
It's not
Okay,
taboo.
so here's where
why?
it's
It
happening.
shouldn't
It
be.
is definitely taboo and it shouldn't be. But let's separate this a second. Females, there is no halacha against that whatsoever. I don't know who came up with it. There's something wrong with it, but there's absolutely
Yeah,
nothing
because
wrong. And
the
if you
only
ask the
problem is to
rabbis,
waste your seed. Women are
I've
not wasting
actually
their seed.
interviewed rabbis for my infidelity research and Jewish marriages research, and they've told me we tell the women to buy vibrators and we tell them to masturbate. But yes, and the reason being is because if you don't know what pleasure is, and if you don't know how to enjoy your orgasm, you won't enjoy your time with your husband in
I
bed.
agree.
Which means they will look for it elsewhere.
This is very cool. I
So
agree.
rabbis are guiding women in the idea of masturbating and in the idea of using vibrators.
So I think
Men,
Charles
I
should have
believe that there is a halacha issue. So
Yes,
let's,
it's wasting your
let's leave
seed,
that.
but it's
Okay,
just.
so-
Well,
you know.
actually, in fact, you can orgasm without.
Right.
Yeah.
Who can?
So let's not say the word because I don't want lips from
Who
ST.
can?
Men. There's a way.
Well,
So
I don't think that's what God meant.
well, if the issue is only on semen, then yeah. Okay, so that's
No,
that's
we're
the
not talking
idea.
about
Hold on.
Not the Navy.
Neil, we got to take a break. Neil, Esty, if somebody wants,
If somebody wants to
call the show.
If somebody wants your picture tonight,
No, we are going to be saying
What? You're
Esty's
being
break.
very inappropriate.
Right.
no. She draws pictures. We sell
Oh.
it
We sell them for $25 for a charity.
No,
But Esty,
inappropriate by
Esty,
me.
can I ask you a question, Esty? Esty, if somebody wants to call the show and ask Sarah a question, go ahead.
Oh, so we're not taking phone calls just yet? Like,
We are going to get
Well,
one.
the producer decided not.
Sexes all day.
Producer, stop pushing buttons.
I think the producer's having a bit of a panic attack, anxiety.
I can't even imagine what his phone lines
We're
look
all,
like
we're
right
all
now.
talking over each other. We should talk one at a time because I'm very
Right.
interested in this.
Of
thing.
course you
By the way,
are.
my friend
This
just
is-
texted me that she's wrong. The Rambam says that it's asur midrabanan for women to masturbate.
Well, the rabbis of today's time that I've been interviewing have, I guess, are not following that. I don't know.
What? Why on earth? Do they have
I
a
don't know.
legitimate reason for that? Or they're just like, oh, you can't because
It
I said
doesn't
so?
matter. You'll find people that say yes. You'll find people that say no in every question you ask.
True.
So, like,
Okay, passing around the basket.
let's
Are
not
you
get
ready?
too serious.
Oh,
Pick it. Pick
All
it.
right,
Okay.
Z.
Oh, this is
And
gonna be
first
fun.
response.
This is the moment all my friends have been waiting for. All
All
right, and I got sexual fantasies.
Okay. Ready? What do you think about it? What's
What do
your
I-
first reaction?
I think about them all the time. I'm a
no,
dude.
please don't share.
No.
Just what's your first response when you think of the word sexual fantasies?
I don't know. It's something people usually keep to themselves.
Yes, it's definitely something that
because
people keep to
people are
themselves.
usually embarrassed to share them because they're usually way out of whack with what's considered normal.
Okay, which leads me right into the idea of what I do at night is not what I do in the daylight. And very often clients will share anxiety or tension around their fantasy, thinking that this is what defines them. And if I'm fantasizing about this, this means that I really want to do that in real life. That's actually not true. The reason why we have fantasies, one of
it's usually for stuff that's not attainable to us. We usually fantasize about, you know, actresses.
Definitely stuff that are not attainable, but it's also
Right.
about overcoming certain barriers that we have. For example, one of the very big ones is guilt, which is a very, very common in religious men and women, guilt and shame around sexual pleasure. So a fantasy would overcome this by designing a story of embracing this barrier. For example, a woman, this is a very common one, a woman who has rape fantasies. So very often I'll hear this common misconception that, oh, they're crazy, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, well, some girls like that to act that out when they're with their husband or their boyfriend.
Whatever it
whatever.
is, the purpose that rape fantasy serves, and other fantasies as such, is that I have guilt around my sexual pleasure, so I'm kind of surrendering and saying, this wasn't by choice, this was forced onto me. When actually it was by choice. Let me clarify. This is consensual, but the fantasy or the pretend play is in, I have kind of surrendered and this pleasure was forced onto me, so I don't need to feel guilty about this.
Sarah, I want to take a caller for you. Caller, you're on the line. Do you have a question for Sarah?
Yes, I do. How you guys doing tonight? It's Mitch.
Doing
Hi,
awesome.
Mitch.
Oh,
How you
Mitch,
doing?
you
Good.
called last night, right?
Let me tell you something. Compared to yesterday, I was like crying over 3 hours. This is fun. This is enjoyable. This is kind of
Oh,
which
thank
should
you.
be on the air. As far as I'm concerned.
But my question to you is, Mitch, do you agree with her opinions?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. Okay,
One minute, Mitch.
All right.
Do you have any? 1 minute, Mitch. Do you have any kids?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And do you agree that your children should be taught?
What?
Do you believe about sex education and masturbation and stuff?
Absolutely, 175%. You know, I gotta tell you, I grew up in a very modern Orthodox Jewish community, but even in that community, okay, I can remember when I was 8 years old and I was first learning, you know, the Bible, the Torah, and I remember when I got to that certain part in Genesis and Bereshit, where they talked about Judah and Tamar, which is where the concept of masturbation comes in. And I'll tell you something. When the rabbi explained to us when I was a little kid, I couldn't have been more than 7, and he talked about wasting the seed. I'm saying, what do you mean seed? You mean like?
Oh, that's what we should have called it, by the way, seed. That was the more
right.
appropriate word.
It was ridiculous. And it was talking about Hammond and what the heck. You know what? You know what it happened? I remember when I came home that night and I was talking to my older brother, who is 7.5 years older than me, and he said, listen, I want to tell you, it has nothing to do with seed. I thought it had to do something to do with Jack and the Beanstalk and seed. Because I didn't learn this stuff.
So you're bringing up a really good point, that our first experiences with our first encounters when we introduce the idea of sex in whichever format is usually very vague and negative. And we take that with us for the rest of our life.
So
Which is against our Torah belief.
What age should we teach our children about sex?
We should be teaching kids, as far as I'm concerned, when a child comes over to you and wants to know the truth about the concept of, you know, how it happened.
Yeah, but that's the difference between a 5-year-old saying, "How do any babies come from, mommy?" And then it's always everybody giggles and then whatever. That's different.
You want to do the stork story? I mean, it's ridiculous.
So what you're saying is honesty is key, and I definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Natural. Do you know that? I'll give you a perfect example. We are such a Puritan society that we can't even deal with the fact that you have a mother feeding her child in the middle of a restaurant. That's the, oh my God, I can't believe she's breastfeeding her. Wow, I can't believe
Well,
that.
I'm against you on that, Mitch. Mitch, I'm against you.
I'm not a fan of that
I'm
either.
not a fan.
It makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable.
That's just because we very strongly sexualized
Yes,
breasts.
that's true, but that's just the way it is.
That's a product of our
You know,
society.
it's come to a point where, like, let's say, you know, it's supposed to be beautiful and whatever, that, like, the photo breastfeeding kind of freaks me out because it's not sexual. It's like,
Mitch,
no, that's meant for
Mitch,
sexual things.
It is natural, but if it's somebody you know, it's your friend's wife, it's your somebody, it's just awkward to see things that are normally covered up, regardless if it's a breast or if it's something else.
Let's forget about Mitch. Forget about Mitch. Let's forget. Mitch. One second.
Nobody's
Hold on.
hurting anyone.
I know, Mitch.
Somebody has to stop talking.
I want to forget about children right now, and I want to talk about the grown-ups. How do we, because we work a whole day long, how do we enjoy sex? How do we, the adults?
I have to tell you, in my case, it was very difficult. I mentioned to you that I became a young widower. And I have to tell you, losing a wife when she was in her mid-40s, somebody who was my best friend since we were in high school, and losing her to cancer, it's been a very difficult thing for me for the last 9 years or so to really enjoy it, because it's you know, when you start dating when you're 47, 48 years old, it's not, I gotta tell you, it's very uncomfortable.
But do you enjoy sex, Tia? Do you masturbate?
I enjoy it. I have to tell you, it was different. It was different with somebody who, you know, he had developed this entire lifetime situation.
Because you're kind of you're tapping into the idea of part of the goal about having sex with your partner is coming to a very intense intimacy where you intuitively know what each other enjoys. Now, this comes after many years of being together, really healthy communication around sex, really healthy communication around desire and pleasure and what I like and what I don't like. But when you lose that to start it all over at a specific age, at 40 or 50, obviously that's torture, because you're so used to being in that amazing, intimate, passionate space of where you know each other so well.
So what does he do?
But
What does he do?
Here's the flip side to this is the couples who come to 40 and 50 and sex absolutely has no meaning, and especially if they're not having kids anymore, then why bother? So there's the two sides. I'm assuming that you had this very intimate, pleasurable experience, and to readjust now, you're gonna have to come to a place to understand that I'm never going to have what I had.
I can tell you, ma'am, that's very difficult, because it's not only a matter of the fact, as you mentioned, and you know, you were talking before, Heshy, about the idea about young kids who are having sex and all this, but the truth of the matter is that one of the important things of having a sex talk with your kids is to make them understand that it could be a loving activity, and like anything else, it could just be an activity. So the point is, you have to explain to your kids, no matter what your religious level is that when you have sex, it can be a beautiful thing, but it could be no different than playing baseball. It's just a activity.
Exactly. The issue is that in today's society.
Mitch, thanks for the call, Mitch. I appreciate it.
A lot of people are asking what the phone number is, by the way, because a lot of people want to call in. Just in case you didn't hear, the phone number is 718-303-9090.
Oh, and you're listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Sorry, go on.
Well, before Sarah, somebody asked me a question, and don't get angry about this question, but she says that I am a religious Jewish woman, and I am a lesbian, and I don't know how to. What she writes here, I don't have people to. I don't have people to practice my sexual relations with.
How old is she?
I'll give her my number. She'll write her age.
So it doesn't matter her age. There's a couple of stuff here. This has been the women who are married in heterosexual relationships. They're Jewish, they're Orthodox. This is a very big issue now, and the rabbis have discussed it with me, and as well as therapists have discussed it with me, that girls have their first sexual experiences in camp with another female.
I told you, Esty.
The Sternberg hot dog story.
Is that
a real thing?
It wasn't Sternberg. I heard it was Satmar.
The hot dog story of some sort of camp or whatever.
That's not.
It's famous.
Well, you should probably say what it is.
So what ends up happening?
And what about
Exactly
boys?
what it sounds like.
Boys don't molest boys. Most of the boys.
Not molesting. What does it do with molesting?
It's not molesting. It's their
This
first
is a
sexual
positive experience.
Yes, it's a
I knew I should have snuck
positive
into those
experience.
all-girls camps. I knew they were doing that there. Darn it.
It's a a very positive experience, and that's the problem, because I love you guys very, very much. But here's the deal. Very often, female and female relationships are a lot more intimate, a lot more intense than a male and female
because they're more comfortable with each
relationships.
other.
Exactly, because they know their bodies so much better. Now, what happens is, if this is your first sexual experience at a very young age, very often you carry this into your marriage, and you're always comparing and always thinking about that past experience. Or sometimes you are truly lesbian, and that's fine. The issue is when you're married with a guy, how do I navigate this? I want to remain in the Orthodox community. I want to stay with my husband, my children, da da da. Here's where porn comes in.
Can we fix you lesbians and gay boys?
What do you say?
To be normal?
Fix you.
We want to make you
And
normal.
why normal?
Because
Why are you
By the
using
way,
those
this is what I never
words?
understood. If I like someone, I like them because they're smart, they're a good person. I like their insides. So when people are like, oh, I like this body part versus this one, it doesn't really make sense to me because they all have their own qualities. They're all both equal. Like,
So
to my mind.
so you would be considered pansexual.
What's that?
So pansexual is the
Good.
idea.
Finally, she has a name.
No, sapiosexual.
That's attracted to the brain. It's weird. Pansexual is basically the idea that I'm attracted to people for who they are, and I don't care about their gender.
I mean, their faces all look the same. Hold on.
But what am I called? I only am attracted. I'm not attracted to any women, Linda. But if I was, I would only be attracted to it. And what would be my?
You'd just be heterosexual.
Ah, good. Thank God.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you're looking at someone, you're talking to their face. You're not checking their body parts when you're talking to them. If you want to be around
So
someone,
that's
like
your
that's not
sexual
true.
interest.
We're all checking
That's your
body
sexual
parts, Esty.
interest.
that's for
Esty.
men. Here's my question. Okay, it's like a legit one.
Romany, did she
So-
pull it? Did she pull something out of the bag?
No, she didn't. She
Esther,
doesn't.
your
No,
turn.
no, but I want to say something first.
First play again.
No, I first want to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
So, for me, in my head, I thought everyone knows, like, oh yeah, sex is considered dirty, and people are like, no, it's beautiful. So I'm guessing that it's from my perspective. Is there any way to change it? Because no matter how I look at it, I cannot see it as clean. It's something animalistic, like I can't get that out.
Okay, so first of all, that's why we have fantasies, and I spoke about that earlier before, that when we have this negative idea about sex, there are different fantasies that you can create in your mind that kind of overcomes that. For example, it's very common that I am dirty and slutty and bad girl if I'm having sex, as that's the idea of, if I'm having pleasure, I must be bad. How do we overcome this?
Also a man. I'm not holy. I'm not holy.
Shush up right now. I want to hear this.
A guy can have this as well. And the way to embrace this, there are many different fantasies, but one example that I was reading in one of the books is that you embrace it by saying, okay, fine, I'm the dirty girl, so I'm going to have fantasies about either I'm in a public space or I'm a slut, or kind of embracing the idea, fine, I'm the dirty girl.
And then you're still going to think of it as
that.
dirty then. The act. Isn't there no way? You know,
you're saying-
no, at some point you're supposed to get married and connect with someone, and it's supposed to be beautiful. For me, I feel like it'll always
Nothing
be like,
is supposed to be. Nothing is supposed to be. But very often, if you connect with a person on a very intimate level, then you can move into
it's not
sex.
dirty, but it still
There's
seems,
other
no matter
people,
what.
For other people, sex comes first and then they connect intimately. That's again what I'm saying. There are no rules. There's no rules when it comes to
There
sex.
are rules.
There's a difference between men and women, though, because men can physicalize it without having anything to do with
Exactly.
it,
And
and
that's
for women, it's
actually
much more
why-
And what
emotional.
happens if you're in a
Not
sexual?
me, of course.
What happens if you're not in an abusive relationship, but if you're in a sexual abusive relationship? You love the guy, he pays you bills, or you love her. Everything is perfect. But when it comes to the sex part at night, that's when he becomes an animal and abusive. What do you do about that? Do you leave a guy like that? It's only for 10, 12 minutes, right?
No, you go and see a therapist, and if this can't be worked out,
Do you hear this,
so-
man?
Okay, so-
Anybody listening?
I know this.
Hello?
What
Hello?
did I say wrong, Mr. Easy?
No, I
It's only
love
10,
this.
12 minutes.
10, 12 minutes at
Okay.
night. Yeah,
Let's be
that's
honest.
it.
Let's be honest, Neil. Nobody today does more than 15 minutes.
What?
I think.
Yeah, here's the big SD talking. I'm not
15
talking.
minutes? What? I didn't.
Not masturbation. I'm talking sex
Sex.
between a man and a woman never goes more than 15
No, never goes more than 15 minutes. You must not know how to please your wife. Holy crap!
You are
Holy
dead
crap.
meat for this one. You
15 minutes?
work your way out
Oh
of it.
God!
First of all, I please.
You're the reason why people don't want to touch men from a mile away. Like that's what you do.
Why?
15 minutes? I don't
This
even
is
need your
such a
time, man. It's
Seinfeld.
bad. It's over.
By me looking at her, I can please her, but that's not the point.
This is men in today's society. They don't give a crap about women, and they're like, "Oh, please me. I will not
You're
touch a
talking
button
over
like
each other.
that."
Yes.
Well,
So you must know all about sex.
I know more than you.
pick from the bag.
No.
Pick from the
Why
back.
not?
Is my mic working?
It sounds like he needs a lot of
Yeah,
therapy.
look at this.
15 minutes and you think she's happy? My God.
Not only happy, she's screaming. Thank you.
Right.
Like Elaine in Seinfeld,
You're
yeah.
done.
Like Elaine in Seinfeld, she was, yeah. We can teach you all about that.
Shut
Okay.
up my
She
mic.
picked, she looks really sad.
No, it's fine. Prostitution.
looks
That's a
like-
word I can say.
Prostitution. Prostitution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not yours. It's
Yeah.
not yours. Esty. My mic is not working. Did you
Oh.
purposely shut it off?
No.
No, prostitute means cover,
First
right?
reaction.
First reaction? I think it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it should be
I
legalized.
have my mic now.
I never
sorry.
understood why it shouldn't be legalized. I
Testes
never
better.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if you enjoy sex and then someone's willing to pay you for it,
Yeah.
unless you're like with these really hideous people, which I feel like they can choose. If they can choose to be with someone good looking and get paid for it, I don't know. I don't feel like that's so bad. So yeah, you have to fix the wire in the back.
At the end of the day, we're all paying for it some way or another anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Whether it's dates or whatever.
So my.
Or
Hold on.
time or friendship.
What's up with my mic today?
All
Yeah.
the microphones. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
So go on, yeah.
Too
Paid
much.
your bill.
So
After tonight, he's not paying his bill.
Okay, go on.
while I worked in Rikers Island, I worked with women who were in prostitution. There are a lot of issues in it, and there's the idea about legalizing it. I definitely stand.
People go into it because they don't have the money, right? Is
So
that
it
the main
depends.
reason?
I've had clients who said, "I love what I do. I am a sexual being. I enjoy this." And I'm making money. And then I had, for example, I had one client who would like charge them $5. So, and I was like, you're not a prostitute. You're just you really like sex. Then I had other clients who said, this is my way of surviving. And then I had sadly the ones who were being pimped and abused. And that was the horrible side of it all. I do think legalizing it would benefit a lot, particularly the condom use. And what scares me are the men who are going to prostitutes and then coming home to sleep with their wives. This is what terrifies me because they are bringing home HIV.
Okay, Sarah, I want to ask you a question.
Well, in
Sarah.
other
Hold on.
countries, it's very, very controlled, and it's very, very regulated, and there aren't diseases, and they go through checks, and they go through this and that I know
Exactly.
from experience,
Okay,
but
Exactly.
that's
excuse me,
the
I
facts.
was getting.
So
I was
it's only
get-
bad
excuse
because
me,
of the way it is
so
now.
what you guys just said, I was getting screamed in my ear that's why the world is going to come to an end. That's why we're all going to hell. Because of the way we are discussing sex and the way people.
No, man, but you think about this. Think about how much worse things are because people are so freaked out that I can't explain it. It comes out in dysfunctional ways. If we were just like, okay, let's say God wasn't a factor and we're like, okay, it's okay to be sexual.
Well,
so
God
many
is
people
a
have
factor.
less
God
issues.
wants us to enjoy pleasure
Only
and
if we're
have
married.
sex. Okay.
So it's just I feel like it's messing with people's heads and people aren't gaining from this. They're becoming more dysfunctional from this. If we could just be like, okay, do it. It should be consensual. You shouldn't have to convince people. You should like it's not a sin. Things would be so much easier. Like so, yeah.
My question to you is, and to everybody else here, I don't know what he's doing with my mic.
There you go. Yeah.
But my question is let's forget all of this. We got sex is a must. There's nothing to discuss.
Right.
Everybody has sex. We all know that it exists in our heads to be. My problem is porn.
Okay. Jumping to our next topic.
Right, because we have a couple minutes. He just shut up my.
Oh, okay.
Porn. He said porn.
Wait, so wait. So hold on. So okay, I know you can't say this, and if everyone's different, at what age? Like you should probably have sex or you're like a freak. Just
No.
Damn it, no.
There is no number.
You know, my therapist said the same
There's
thing. You
no
give me
number.
an age, damn it.
There is no
No,
number.
I'm gonna depend on you to give me a number, or I'll just
Okay,
never do it because I won't
so
know.
here's the thing. When you're starting to stress out about it and thinking like, oh my god, I'm losing
All my
it,
friends.
that's the time. So when you're
Okay,
starting
but if you
to
tell it
freak
to my
out-
parents, they're gonna kill you.
Well, I'm not talking to your parents. And I wouldn't tell that.
No, but what
to
age? Okay, you know, think about this. You're saying that 14 is too young, right?
100%.
What?
No,
What?
100%
What
14
age?
is too
Okay, let
young.
me ask you
I
this.
say 21 is too young.
Okay, so
Okay, that's
this
your
is my
opinion.
question. At what age do you think 18 should be the age? If let's say, like, what is
There
the
is no age.
no,
but if you're
what
talking
is
about
normal
legal,
considered to a society? What's considered the norm? At what age? Like, too early isn't good. Too late isn't good. What do you think society says is the correct age?
Well, right now the legal number is 17, and it runs.
And you
Oh,
think
it is?
in
I
your
heard
pers-
16.
in your personal
16.
opinion, should people
Um,
have sex at 17? It seems a bit young, like reckless, just jumping into it. At what age do you think people are mature enough to make that decision?
I wouldn't want
I
my
don't-
sons to have
I-
sex at 17. I wouldn't.
I mean,
I wouldn't. I agree with that. I don't think. 17 is, I think 17 is you're
But
really
I'd
young
like to
and not
watch. But
developed.
what about watching porn?
Okay, we're not
Okay,
talking about
so
that. You
here's the
keep
thing with
interrupting me.
porn.
You shush for the next 5 minutes.
No, because I'm not going to give you numbers, SD. I'm just
But at
not going
Fine,
to do
no,
that.
hold on. 17 you said is too young. At what age do you think majority of people
saying
do it?
17 is too young. I'm not
Calm
saying
down.
17 is too young. But that's the age that you can legally have sex.
So I'm not talking about legally. I'm saying
And-
a functional adult. At what age do most functional adults do it?
I don't know the numbers. I don't know the numbers, and I would never tell my client when it is appropriate and
That's it. I'm not
appropriate
going to. I
sex.
need a
I
number.
would walk them through the process, and if they feel ready, that's up to them. And they feel that this
Shouldn't
is
they wait for
truly
marriage?
consensual.
Do you have young?
Truly
Do you have
consensual.
young kids come in to you for therapy?
So right now, not, but I'm starting to work with young kids. But the parents come in first. They consent and they do
Another
the intake, and
question.
then we start seeing the
Let's say
kids.
someone you know for sure doesn't have diseases, right?
Mhm.
Can you, and if you did it with them, but they were like opposed to condoms and they said, oh, just use birth control. Is that completely stupid because you can get
Completely
pregnant?
100% stupid.
You're supposed to have two different forms of
People seem to
protection.
think people tend to think that the morning after pill is fine. You're
doesn't it
actually
mess-
making a huge mess with your body, and
Yes,
you're going to
it's-
regret it one day.
You can like not have kids or something.
Condoms are a must. The only time
What
you
about
stop
the
using
thing that you could
condoms
put
is when
inside?
you're
You
in
could put
committed
inside like this
relationship.
little metal thing that you can't get pregnant.
Let's not run through all the birth control stuff. But we wanted to talk about porn. The issue with porn is like this. Porn is excellent. It's great. It's very good for couples together. It's very good for single men and women.
But it's illegal as a Christian, Jew, Muslim to see.
Okay.
Is it?
That's what I was told.
Illegal?
You're watching. You're not being modest.
Oh, okay. So happens to be when I discussed this with rabbis, they didn't come all out on the porn. They didn't say, no, absolutely, this is wrong, wrong, wrong. They said we don't encourage it. It's inappropriate. It's
It
prohibited.
introduces us to things that maybe we don't need.
So
You know?
I personally find that it's very helpful in relationships. My concern with porn is young children watching porn because, again, they're exposed. This is their first experience of sexual
What's considered
exposure.
a young child? At what point? How young are you
Even
talking?
a 16-year-old concerns me because this is
You
the
could
first
take it in the
time-
wrong way and it really messes
and
with you.
You know what? Porn looks perfect, and that's actually not how sex is.
Yeah, it
it's
makes
not
unrealistic
perfect.
expectations
I'm-
and unrealistic body images. and all
Unrealistic
these
body
things,
images,
yeah.
unrealistic expectation that this is going to work for so many hours. In fact, I interviewed
when
a porn
have you ever
star.
called a plumber and they came within 30 minutes? Come on.
So
That could never happen.
I've teens would see the porn set, how messy they are, how dirty they are, how chaotic they are,
Yeah, how did that work out
as
for 'em?
well as they inject their, can I say the P word? They inject their penises with a very, very high level of Viagra. I won't say it again.
That's horrible. Don't listen to him. Go on.
Our
So
producer just quit.
it's really important to use appropriate words because if we don't use appropriate words, we're giving a message to children that I am not comfortable speaking about this conversation. So when they
that
need to
memo.
ask questions, they won't come to you because
I've
you
never
gave
heard-
them the message.
My parents have
I'm
never
not
used those
comfortable.
words in a gajillion years. Like they're never.
And
I've used those words.
Yes, I know. You're
it's
kind
very
of a pervert.
important. It's very
Why
important.
am I? Excuse me. According to her, I'm not a pervert.
I never said that.
I said that.
Oh, I am a pervert.
I never said either one.
Well,
we
I
never
mean,
had a conversation about being
You
perverted.
need a nice hour, I
We're
think,
gonna
of,
be
to
winding
be
down.
analyzed. I think on the house.
Anyways,
Wind down.
we're going to be taking a lot of calls if we want. I'm not sure the producer will pick up your phones, but anyways, call into the show 718-303-9090, or you can email me and text me. It's getting a little while, but I will tell her a question or two of it. But Esty, in the meantime, before we come to the end of the show and do my final quote, you got to tell us who these sponsors who won't be coming back next week. Tell us.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all going to pull their sponsorship. That's it.
Except for Green Line Building Solutions.
Yeah. So yeah, we have Mr. Clean. Great dry cleaners. If you mention the Just Enough Heshy show, you'll get 25% off. They do pickup service, free and delivery. You can email him at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com. You can also call 347-369-3051. We have the Black Label electronic cigarettes. You can go to blpremiumesig.com or call Mikey at 561-239-5941.
Or you can go to the Just Enough Heshy Facebook, and I posted each day the website, and you can just click on it and go right on there and buy it.
So yeah, we have Green Line Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection and code compliance, violations, permits, and plans, preventative maintenance. They lift stop work orders, and they'll give you a free consultation. You can call them at 718-871-0382. For anyone just tuning in, you are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. Heshy spelled Heshy. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can call in at 718-303-9090. If you'd like to advertise with us, you can send us an email at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. We're live on YouTube if you want to see what we look like our Facebook page, Twitter, hashtag justenoughheshy. So yeah, let's take a call since the producer is giving up on us. Hold on. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Cool. Hi, I'd like to speak to Uncle Heshy.
Go ahead. You got me.
Hi, this is, hello, that's Candy Pappy.
What?
Oh, how are you? Yes, I am the Candy Man. How do you know that?
Is that Ronnie? Hello, Ronnie.
It just seems very weird to hear children on the phone
why are they
what we're
tuned
talking
in?
about.
You should have given a disclaimer.
What's
no
going on over
disclaimer.
here?
Good parents teach their children everything. What's doing, my friend? Hello, baby. Hello. Okay, we're going to talk to you tomorrow. Ask the next caller. Thank you for calling in, my boy.
Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Hello? You're on the air.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're here.
Am I here?
Yeah.
I have a question. Shout out to Zalmi, by the way.
Oh, what's up? You mean Z? I don't know who the Zalmi guy is, but he sounds cool.
That's cool. It's B'Yemen, by the way. Thank you very much.
What's up?
How you doing,
You're
man?
from Israel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question for our guest here.
Sarah,
Hi.
go ahead.
Hello.
It's not exactly directed to me, but it's definitely directed to, something that's going on these days.
Mhm.
This whole thing with Bruce Jenner and this whole sex tape thing.
I was
Do
hoping
me
you
a
would talk
favor.
about it.
Explain to me and to so many others like me who are curious to know exactly what is going through an individual's mind like that.
So,
It perplexes the crap out of us.
okay, so right now, transgender is still, it's not working, my mic?
Yeah, your mic is
Okay.
working. Go ahead.
Right now, transgender is still in the DSM-5. That's kind of our Bible for diagnosing. So it's still in gender dysphoria, which means that the person at a very young age begins to believe that they are in the wrong body. And then if this is at a very young age, they usually begin to transition them by giving them male or female hormones depending where they want to transition, and then later at a certain age they need to get signed off by a psychologist to do surgery. I can't tell you what goes through their head. I really don't know. I haven't worked closely enough with the transgender community to be
Have
able
you
to
any experience with it?
answer. I've had one, like just an encounter, not like as a client.
Do we have Jewish people like this?
Yes, we do have Jewish people, but let me explain. They leave the community before they transition. So it's different than somebody who's gay or lesbian who can very
that
often
will
function
definitely
within the
not go
community.
over well in the community. I can't imagine.
If a person transitions, they leave the community and they transition then. It's very strongly believed that they consciously and strongly believe that they are in the wrong body and they want to transition into the male or female body.
Esty, we are going to commercial break for about a minute or two. But before we go to break, I do want to tell everybody you are listening to Sarah Shapiro Halberstam or Stam?
Whichever you like.
She could be reached at 800-973-0323, extension 709. We're going to repeat it a few times, 800-973-0323.
Actually, go with my email.
And her
More accessible
email
there.
is Sarah at My Therapist. Very simple. MyTherapist.info. Is
Yep.
that correct?
Yep.
It's a very simple thing. Anyways, everybody, a small, easy quote while Neil walked out for his thing. This has to do with what we're talking about tonight, Z. I want you to hear this quote, Z. Z, you're not listening to me.
Yeah, I'm listening.
If this is my quote, Esty, while you're running out, you can listen to it. If you don't have the time to do it right, when will you have the time to do it over?
Oh.
And that is my point to you guys.
It's like they say, cut Measure twice, cut once.
But the point is
make sure
you
you
know,
do it right.
people are thinking that this subject or the topics we talk about, even yesterday's topic, are wrong or disgusting. You have to understand, if you're not going to know the rules, you're not going to know the situation, something is going to go wrong. You'll never be able to go back. You'll never be able to do it again. Thank you, everybody. We'll be right back in about 1 minute, and I'm going to try to get the producer not to quit.
private.
Again,
Okay.
we keep.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
excuse
go
me,
ahead.
excuse
I think
me.
we're having a little problem
We
with our
have to have
YouTube
a
link, by the way.
little-
Two
Yes,
people are telling me they
yeah.
can't hear.
And,
Two people told me it's
Excuse
chopping.
me. Excuse me.
Now it faded out completely.
Excuse
The
me.
YouTube.
Excuse me.
Okay.
YouTube Z.
Yes. Hi, I'm here.
Okay. To all our listeners out there,
Yes.
okay, please understand that we are not talking about anything to do with religion at this time.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that. Thank you.
If
Yes. This is nothing
according
to
to
do with anything.
religion, all sexual activity should be between husband and wife. Period. That's it. As far as the Jewish community is concerned.
Correct.
So the things that we are mentioning here, other things and other types of situations, we're not catering to the Orthodox that follow in that line. We're talking about those that either slip and this is their weakness, or
they're not
we're
religious.
talking about people
The
that are
fact that
not
it's called a
religious.
weakness sucks.
Or whatever. No,
I always felt
any
like-
kind of non-control
No, I always felt-
thing is really, I mean,
No.
somewhat of a.
I always felt like
Yeah.
sex is a weakness. We should fight it. Like I've been thinking
No,
that my whole life.
no, that's not what I mean.
It's not healthy, but I still feel
Don't
like
take
that.
it so deep. No.
Okay.
Wait, so
But
That's- I
I agree
just
that
wanna-
everything that we're speaking about, again, if when we're not speaking about single boys and girls, if religion,
Yeah.
Takes
counteracts
priority.
that. But what I will say is to parents who they are subconsciously, because many parents don't consciously want to admit to it, but subconsciously know that their children are out with guys and with girls, please have a conversation with them, or have somebody else have a conversation with them if you're not comfortable.
Or buy
because
them
not
a book
educating
that has the
yeah.
information.
Again,
buy
are you
them a
talking
book.
about as far as the frum community or in general?
And from community.
And
it
the
sounds
frum
like.
community,
Because I think there's certain communities that have big problems with premarital sex, which leads to kids being born without any sort of guidance in the household because it's broken home because they're having a kid when they're 15 years old, and it is
because
affecting
that's
certain
because there's no
communities.
sex education
Yeah.
happen. And no, my message to
And
this
look
was
at
to
what it's doing
religious
to communities.
families.
Oh,
No,
okay.
this-
So my
at this
message
time.
was to religious
right.
families,
Okay.
to their children.
Also,
I understand the parents raise their children Orthodox and they want them to follow and wait until they're married. Some children don't. That's the fact. That's what's happening, right? Let's not bury our head in the sand. So
Right,
for
and
those parents,
and giving those children, any children, a sex education in general is not per se giving permission
exactly.
or agreeing that they should be doing it. But they should be aware.
No,
I
no.
mean, at some point, the teenagers should be aware
That sex is
of
going to
what
happen.
all sex
By
is
the way,
about. And
So I want to bring something up, right? The fact that in my school, my teacher taught me that the four walls shouldn't see you naked, which means even at
Okay.
home, hold on,
Straight to body image, yes.
right? So you have to like dress and even in your room they shouldn't see you. Like the only time we're naked is in the shower, and we definitely don't look in the mirror, right? So for me, what scares me the most is how can they teach this and then they don't know about sex, they get married, bam, be naked in front of your husband. How dare they do this to us? Because what on earth are we supposed to do? And they're leaving us with like, oh my God. And plus it's not even
Right, okay.
it's not and plus when they get married, half of them don't even enjoy it because the men don't know, the women don't know. They just think, hey, I'm doing this to have kids. They don't eat like I know people like that.
Okay, so in the research that I was doing, definitely the rabbi spoke about the transition that girls have, that they're educated so intensely about this
They're
whole
going from
tznius
0
thing.
to 60 from
And
nothing
then-
to like boom with your husband in one night.
Yes,
Like
so
it's gotta be
so the
crazy.
transition is
But-
really, really difficult.
My God, to look in the mirror, it was horrifying.
So
you have to
I
like
cannot-
practice for years to get it out of your system
I
that it's
cannot
okay. Like-
educate schools. I will never spend my time educating a school, but I can educate parents. So please, speak to your daughters about their image. Speak to them about how beautiful their bodies are, and that's why if you want to do the whole tznius thing, that's why I want you to keep it
So,
beautifully
Sarah,
covered.
I want to
Yes.
just tell you what I just got.
Like in private, it should be allowed so you
but-
can be
I
comfortable with
agree.
your body.
But
agree.
Esty, I want to tell you what the Prospect Yeshiva
Mhm.
acceptance sheet, and it's a real sheet. I have it here. So you can get it on the Just Enough Heshy WhatsApp.
Mhm.
I'm going to put it on. It's called Project 11th Grader. The teacher gave it out today, and one of the girls, and they gave it out at Chalamas. You're going to love this, Neil. Listen to this one. And this is the questionnaire. Have you ever texted a boy? Male cousins, male family friends are also
No.
boys. Have you ever called a boy, prank or otherwise? Have you ever agreed to meet with a boy at a specific time and place? Does your family invite or accept invitations for Shabbos and Yom Tov meals from families with teenage boys.
Wow.
Do you and your friends talk about who likes
Why are they
whom?
doing this?
Wait a minute. Do you ever leave your house at night without your parents' knowledge?
Your family would
Do
not be
you
accepted.
like one boy very much? Does he like you?
Wow.
Wait a minute.
This is 11th
Wait a
grade.
minute. Wait a minute. This is the best one. Have you ever touched a boy or have been touched by a boy in a physical affection?
That's messed up.
And who's answering
And
this?
yes or no's. You
Which
have
school is this?
But what was the point?
The girls have to fill this shit out.
You
And
think
I
they're
thought
going to get
prospects-
truth?
I thought Prospect's a little bit more
You
modern
think
now.
the girls are going to give true answers?
but I don't
to
know
that?
why the parents are not upset that you even handed out such a letter.
Yeah, they don't even want their kids to know about this.
That's not true.
The question is, why was this? Was this because they're trying to figure out like the demographics,
What
or is
they're
it
trying
because
to know
they
is
want
that
to
they don't
begin to
want-
have conversations?
They want to throw out the girls that are troublemakers. Like there are certain schools, like for example, Taurus Emis. When you get to 8th grade, they don't want any of the kids who work
Oh,
for the
so
8th
this
grade.
is to filter through. Then I have a problem with this.
Right. It's always to filter
I
through
thought
to
this
the
was
lower
to
class.
educational people.
Even though
No, this is to see who's getting in because
Right.
they're too
Oh,
bad.
okay,
These
so I have a
are,
problem
these
with
are,
Answer
these are
that.
our
I don't
future.
understand.
Yeah, 1 minute. These are our future mothers. These are our future
Yeah.
parents, and these are the way we're going to treat them like garbage and throw them out because they've spoken to a boy, they looked at a boy, they fantasized. And these rabbis and teachers believe that these girls are all innocent and all virgins, and they're stupid.
Yeah, well, Heshy, you're jumping into the whole idea of expelling children from school, but that's like a whole
Not me.
different
I'm
topic.
saying that not expelling subject, but people, these religious organizations don't want to educate, like the last caller. He says, "Oh, sex is not part of life." I told him just
Oh,
like
really?
just like women.
He's never had good sex then.
Excuse me. I'm saying
Definitely not.
you have to have sex because sex is like paying your mortgage. Sex is like paying your bills. If you're not going to know your daily stuff, then you're going to get sex will be bad. Just like if you don't want to have a job, you're not going to have food on the table, and you will be frustrated and you will die. You don't have
Well,
sex
you already
properly.
said it lasts for 12 minutes, so I don't know how good you think it could get.
Not me. I last long about
Oh, of
sex.
course.
Oh, he
The
does. The
average
whole world
15
is only 15
minutes,
minutes.
right,
He
right.
is
Now, I
longer.
want to ask Sarah, because she brought up an interesting topic, and we are in the next hour. So, Sarah, I'm sorry, we're going to take a break. Esther,
Yes.
you are going to pay for the show, and you are going to do our and don't forget, you're going to be mentioning, and I'm going to mention it first, Sarah Shapiro Halberstam. You can reach her at Sarah, S-A-R-A, at mytherapist, mytherapist.info, and she has a website, and you can call her at 800-973-0323, extension 709. What's that number again, Sarah?
My phone number?
Yeah.
1-800-973-0323, extension 709.
Now, guys,
But she prefers
she's
email,
not
she
only...
said.
Yeah, I prefer email.
She's a therapist in the fullest, I mean, she does it all. You heard what she does. They do a lot of different things. She's helping us with the
Relationship
subject,
therapy.
relationships, marriages, depression, many things that Esty would know about. But Esty, tell us who's talking about the show today.
Who's what? Oh, you don't want me to do the horoscopes?
Oh yeah, we'd love the horoscope.
Oh, come on.
Okay, skip the horoscope for
Yes, I
the.
vote.
Thank you.
Who's
I
paying?
vote also. I've also voted.
Who's paying for the show?
Who's paying?
Let's see. Palm
Are they
Gardens.
paying for dinner too?
Where are we gonna have dinner tonight?
I don't know. That's what I wanted to know.
I'm sure everyone would love to hear
Because-
this scintillating discussion.
Yeah.
No, 'cause I
the
know
after
Palm
discussion.
Gardens-
No, dude.
Palm Gardens is very good for grandma
Yeah.
because she can go and play games and not be
So, yeah.
bored all day.
Yeah, adult daycare
So
center.
please go play. Take your grandma.
Yeah. You know what I've heard, by the way,
Does
Mrs.
grandpa go to?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mrs.
With the
Therapist.
oxygen tank?
I've heard that these old age homes, by the way, are like they go wild in there because they're old and they're nothing better to do, and they're just usually.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard it's
I'm
like-
sure Donna
like-
Summers is
it's like
playing.
Viagra
Okay,
City.
guys.
They are rocking
Okay,
it.
we got a lot to talk about. We're running out of time.
Nobody
so
even
Esty,
knows who Donna is.
I don't even know.
I know
if
who Donna Summers. I
is,
like
but-
So yeah, Palm Gardens Adult Daycare Center. You can call Ellie at 917-903-5375. Mr. Clean, Brooklyn's premier dry cleaning pickup service. They do pickup and delivery for free. And if you mention the Justin Up Heshy show, you get 25% off your first order, you can email Mr. Clean at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com or call him at 347-369-3051. We have Green Line Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection, DOB, HPD, code compliance, violations, permits and plans, preventative maintenance. They lift stop work orders, and they give you free consultation. You can call them at 718-871-0382. You guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can get us on Facebook and follow us, #Twitter, Just Enough Heshy. We're live on YouTube if you want to see how we rant and rave with our hands. You can advertise with us or send us an email at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. And if you'd like to call in, the number here is 718-303-9090.
And don't forget, I do Twitter, so join my Twitter, people. Follow me because I have a lot to say tomorrow. Esty.
And tonight is adult content.
It's always adult content.
Esty, now we're gonna limit this next caller for about 2 minutes because we're gonna have a crazy. So Sarah, sit back and get ready.
Yeah.
Norman,
our most famous caller.
favorite caller. Norman, talk to us, baby.
Okay, well, first of all,
I know. Wait, Norman. Before you start, I know I'm ignorant and I'm stupid because.
All right, Heshy.
Let him at least get the pleasure of saying it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Go ahead, Norm.
First of all, I want to say thank you for bringing that guest you had on last night because he shines light on the cockroaches that exist in your community, and you have to keep the light on so the cockroaches because they prey on children. And
okay, Norman.
What bothers me is that in the past you've said Jewish people shouldn't rat on Jewish people. But when you have people that prey on children, you have to get them out of the community because it's causing a tremendous amount of problems. And I try to talk to you in the past about sexual things, and you're very immature about it, Heshy. I think the only one when I hear, I have to give Esty. She's far ahead of all of you.
Okay, Norman. We got the thing. Norman, you got anything to say?
Let him say. He's giving me compliments. I like it.
Esty says things that are significant, and you don't like to hear that. And she's well aware of all the problems. I live.
You can't admit I'm right. You kidding me? I'm a woman. I'm younger. It would kill him.
That's right.
Okay, Norman. You see why, Norman? You know why? You know why now, Norman? You're cooking crazy because you are my age and you're fantasizing about Esty. You forget about it.
Oh, what the frick is wrong with you, Heshy?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, he is.
No, because you're talking crazy that she's right.
That I'm right? Of course.
You're not right.
Be crazy if I'm right.
You can't be
No,
right.
you're an idiot. We all know that.
Did she just call me an idiot, Neil? Neil, did she call me an idiot?
No dinner for her tonight.
Oh, come on. You change the topic based on nothing. You don't answer half the questions except in a weird roundabout way.
Because sex is a quiet issue that you have to learn about. I'm bringing it on the show tonight because I want to educate you. I don't run around the streets saying sex, naked.
I would never say words. Forget about that.
You are wrong, Esty. My producer is right.
I see.
You know what?
Norman, I love you. Thank you. You got a question for our guest tonight?
I want to tell you something. Because of the immaturity of your community, I see such horrible marriages. I see
100% true.
I see loveless marriages. I see non-sexual marriages. And then when you have non-sexual marriages, somebody's going to cheat and somebody's going to bring diseases into the home.
Norman, you believe marriage has to have love and sex in it. Is that correct? You're wrong.
Yeah,
you don't understand. You don't understand marriage. Marriage is companionship. You then get, benefits are the sex, benefits are the love. But the truth of the matter is,
that's a little bit 1800. Today we want marriage to have
that's exactly
intimacy.
He's living in the 1800s.
Sex.
Sure, I want to drive a Cadillac fully loaded, but if I can't have it fully loaded,
hold on a second.
I'll take it with the four wheels.
I have a question for her that's very connected to what you guys are all talking about. As a relationship therapist or counselor, would you say that I would say 90% of the time when people are in an unhappy marriage, the number one symptom is that they're just like not having sex anymore?
100%. When you're working with couples, the first
All
place,
the time, right?
the
They go
first place
distant.
that we have
Yeah.
to go. I mean, we work on a lot of parts, but sex definitely plays a huge, huge role. For some couples, this is their first indicator that, oh my goodness, our marriage is falling apart. Then they'll come in. Other couples will come in about the fighting, about the issues, about whatever it is, some of them close to divorce. And then sex would very often become one of the big hot topics. She doesn't want, he doesn't want. She wants this, he wants that, back and forth. So we no longer live in the days where marriage is companionship, and if we are lucky enough to have love and sex, yay. No, today we're living in a relationship, in a society where we want marriage to have love, companionship,
it's the
and
best
sex.
parameter for
That's
how
what
good your
we want.
relationship is, right?
But if it doesn't happen, I should just divorce my woman
No,
after 25
no,
It means there's a
no.
problem. It means there's
But
a problem.
there's ways to work around it.
So
Go to therapy. That's what I do.
Sarah, can I ask you a bad question right
Yes.
now? I'm not talking about me.
Is
now.
Norman still on?
No, Norman's gone.
We have
But I'm
another
going to ask
someone
you a
waiting
question.
now.
We have another way. I have a question. I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking about a couple that doesn't have sex anymore because they're bored with each other.
Mhm.
Now we have to fix them, right?
We
They-
don't have to
we
fix
don't
them.
have
If
to fix
they
them.
want
They want to be fixed, and they
change.
figured out a way to fix it. And I have a solution. The solution is they come to you, not me. I would never
Mhm.
agree to this, and I don't agree to this at all. To go swinging. That's I
Mhm.
heard a word. That means that
Mhm.
they go share their beds with other
Mhm.
couples, which is
Mhm.
not allowed halakhically or in any
Mhm.
religion.
Mhm.
Do you guys agree with this?
We work with couples who are interested in swinging because a lot of emotional work goes into being able to swing. So most of these relationships don't end up lasting. The ones that do last are the ones who have been through kind of either a therapy or coaching that really guides them through the process. Because besides for the sexual encounters, there has to be a constant introspection and a constant of awareness of how am I feeling, what am I feeling, because the natural instinct that we have, especially women, is jealousy. So if you decide that I want to swing, and there are couples who swing, there are religious couples who swing.
Really?
If you decide,
Neil, did you hear this? Religious couples
Yeah,
swing.
of course.
so if you decide that you want to
Marine
swing,
Park.
there's
What's up,
a
Marine
lot
Park?
of emotional work that's going to have to go into, and a lot of own personal restraint and self-talk and whatever it is.
My
Wait, I have a
wife,
question.
So I
let me
personally
ask you.
don't think it's worth
my,
it.
my
Just
wife
put it
gets
out there.
upset, not that if I look at another woman, but if I say darling by mistake to another woman, she's jealous. So you're
Never.
telling me that I have to have
Wait.
restraint every day. I have to restrain. Everybody has to have
Right, so
restraint.
that's exactly why
Sure
you
you
don't
wanna-
swing.
So I have a question, right?
Yeah.
Is there something
We're
I don't-
nasty. We got to take a call. Take the
wait,
call.
hold on. I don't want to say something wrong with me, but like I'm not jealous. I feel like if let's say someone really cares about me, but they want to have sex with other women, like why would that bother me? I want them to enjoy their life.
Feel free to have a polyamorous relationship.
And I don't mean like that. I feel like
What is the meaning of polyamorous?
So a polyamorous relationship is when there's a core couple. So guy girl, let's say, or girl girl, guy guy, however you want to put it. We'll do guy girl for now. We have a heterosexual couple. They're the core couple. The guy can see people and the woman can see people. So this is considered a polyamorous relationship. Again,
Open
these
marriage.
it's not an open marriage. It's a little bit different. This almost never works. But it does work when they are going through coaching or they're in therapy and there's really strong parameters and really strong rules. I don't know why it's worth it for people because there's so much emotional
so
intensity.
I
in all this.
understand like it's not functional in a marriage, so I guess I wouldn't do that when I'm married, but I'm just not jealous. Like it doesn't like if you really care about someone, don't
And
you want
that's
to have
fine.
all the pleasure that they can't? Like why
That's the way you
if
see
they
it.
do it without emotion, then like why
Because it's instinctive. What's the word I'm looking for? It's
Instinctual.
inherently emotional, and like if you're
Well, not
with somebody-
necessarily.
Just
Some
don't
women
feel
are
it.
just not jealous, and that's awesome
not
to the
that.
guy that
I
they're
don't
married to.
no. If they have an emotional relationship with someone else, that would bother me. But if it's just physical,
Because
don't-
you're a woman.
No, it's not that.
Yeah,
I get that. But if they're like don't eat chocolate because I'm jealous of how much you'll love it. Like if someone can enjoy something,
Okay, so you're tapping
but they
into
still like me best, why would I care?
So you're tapping into the idea of infidelity. One of the stuff that kept coming up for me when doing my research is that men will cheat for sexual reasons. I didn't get enough what I wanted. I wasn't getting pleased.
Right. So why does that matter?
Women women
I love
cheat-
my
one
wife,
second.
but like,
Women cheat for emotional reasons, which means that my husband is not connecting with me in the way I want him to connect. So I seek it out from other men. Now, men are magic and they know how to tap into vulnerable women. Women are vulnerable and they come and prey on them. You guys should come see my Facebook private messengers. There are many creeps out there who are very bored and spending their time looking for vulnerable women. So women will usually cheat for emotional purposes.
am I vulnerable?
Yes.
I have no
Sure, sounds
idea.
like it.
Well, how can you just say yes like that?
Oh, I talk to Esty a lot.
That doesn't
Oh,
mean
okay.
crap.
So
that doesn't
then-
mean crap.
Well,
doesn't
let's
have
just
to
take
go
a
in.
caller because he's been waiting for a while.
Mhm.
whoever
So
it is.
yeah, again, this is the Just Enough Heshy Show. You can call in at 718-303-9090. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy. Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
Yes.
Peter here.
Hello,
What's up,
Peter.
Peter?
How are you?
I called. I missed yesterday's show with the rabbi. I think he's doing a good job.
Oh, it's YouTube. You can look it up later, you know?
My shut hours can yell.
Oh.
Oh, Neil's still here. I haven't heard from him in an hour. Neil, are you there?
Neil is shocked.
He's shell shocked.
Good evening.
Between men and women, that's their problem. That's their secret. And I don't believe. I've been married 40 years to a Russian Jew, and we have a great marriage. We don't need a psychiatrist or psychologist.
How do you keep it interesting? How do you not get bored? Let's go with that.
How you don't get bored? You try to new every day.
Prostitutes.
If you have a busy schedule, take out for lunch, pick up for lunch.
Okay, let me stop you here for a second. I'm very, very happy that you have an amazing marriage for so many years, but it's not fair to put that out on the radio because what happens is people start to think about themselves. Why is this guy on the radio saying that he had an amazing marriage for so many years and I don't? And he's saying I'm having amazing sex every day. We try new things and I don't.
I
And
didn't say
these are the
that.
couples I see in
I
therapy.
didn't
The couples
say
who
that.
Well, that's good. And they'll realize that they should
I
fix
didn't
themselves.
say sex. I didn't say sex. I said a relationship.
And there's nothing wrong with you saying that you have a great relationship. Screw the
Thank
people.
you, Phil.
Screw the
I
people
didn't
that
say
don't have a
that.
good relationship.
Yeah.
Let them go work
The
on
whole
it.
Facebook is just
You
pictures
worked
of
on it
couples.
for 40 years. You're
But
working
you see,
on it.
the point about
You want-
Facebook being all pictures of couples. So this is my point. Why are you showing something off? Like keep it
I'm not
privately to
showing
It's
yourself.
not showing off. It's just
Some people want to show, some people don't. That's
I'm
all.
showing you
It's
that
letting other
we're all
people
human.
be happy
We
for
all
your
do.
happiness.
Wait a
We're
minute,
all human. We come from different backgrounds.
Okay,
And that's
and
what
you
makes
made it
the world
work.
a great place.
Okay, and you made it
Anyways,
work.
caller, before we end with you, how is your sex life?
I can't comment on the air.
You got it.
Good job.
Good job. Good job. Thank you.
It was a trick question. You won.
Good job.
Thank you for your call.
I
Thank
love
you.
your show, guys.
Thank you, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
But
So
this,
go
he
ahead,
touched on something that I feel very passionately about: the Facebook pictures and the people who go and flaunt their relationships all over. And this is what
People
I tell
flaunt
my friends.
everything on Facebook.
That's
not
true.
just
But this
relationships.
is what I tell my friends all the time. If I see a couple making out all the time in front of all their other friends, I get very suspicious. So friends
Wow.
out there, hear that. But just kidding.
Because they're trying to show, look how awesome we are, but really, we have big problems.
Yeah, kind
It's
of.
too much of
I
a
get very
broad stroke.
suspicious.
Okay, but you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
But I want to get even more risque in a sense.
Mhm.
Today, adults as well as kids, there's this new thing called. I know you're gonna make fun of me. Snapchat,
Mhm.
Instagram.
It's brilliant. Snapchat is technically made just for
hold
that.
on, they take pictures of themselves naked and ship it out. Not only young kids, adults,
Sexting.
40s,
So the
50s,
proper word
60s.
for this is sexting.
Crazy.
It's a very, very
According
big
to you,
issue.
it's sick. According to you, it's sick.
I never said it's sick.
You just said if I see a lot of pictures of people kissing.
I told you
that's
he would
not
put
what I'm
words in your
saying.
mouth
That's
to
what
make
I'm
you say
saying
things that
is
you
that when
haven't.
people feel the need to flaunt their relationship, I have a question about that, and I'm bothered about that because I see the other couples, the couples who are coming in and saying everybody's relationship is awesome, but ours, and that's not true.
So when I see people
Everyone's
flaunting their
struggling.
sexuality, I get nervous too. Oh, why is she more sexual? Why is she more?
Why does every no, I don't
And that's
like
what
your
the problem-
negativity.
That's what the problem is
Why
with
does
porn
everybody
also.
have to have a problem in them?
That's what he said.
I'm
the
not saying
problem is with
everybody.
porn.
No, I'm not saying everybody has a problem. I'm saying everybody works hard toward their marriage. It doesn't come easy.
Right.
If you want a good relationship, you need to work hard.
On the points in your marriage I need working on.
No,
Right.
I don't think
Right,
so.
that's all I was
my,
saying.
my marriage comes very easy to me. For sure.
Did anybody notice how Heshy goes way above 15 minutes? Perfect marriage. What else did he say?
Great kids.
I think we should bring his wife.
It's all a bad sign. It's all a bad sign.
That's why.
I'm getting suspicious.
Hold on. That's
I
why
think we should bring his wife on the show.
We should. That's why this show
Let's call
doesn't
her.
have midget lesbian rabbis on the show.
Midget lesbian rabbi.
Very creative, possible.
I'm dead.
It sounds like a show I want to
No,
go
I'm
to.
dead. But my point is, I'm not trying to brag about me. I know
I
he's
know,
bragging.
you can't
He's
help
bragging.
it.
I'm telling you, of course I fight with my woman. Of
Okay.
course she's wrong all the time. But the point, and I give in. My point I'm trying to make to you is that anything, any job you do, anything you do, of course you have to work at.
Mhm.
But if you're not going to want it to come easy, and you think that everything is hard, it's not going to be good for you.
Okay, so you're looking at it the other way. No problem. What I'm saying is relationships are tough work. Doesn't always come easy. If it doesn't come easy, feel free to go see a therapist. Read a good book. There's some excellent books out there. But what I'm saying to the other
I think that
people,
hold on.
What book do you recommend for us?
I have some awesome ones. One that I really like is Find Your Couple's Sexual Style. It's a great way to kind of experience each other and begin to learn from each other what you like and don't like.
Is it dirty? Is it?
No, it's
can
very,
religious
very
people get
clean.
it?
100% religious people can get it. It's very clean. There's a lot of like questionnaires that you can do on your own time. Husband on his own time, wife on his own time, come together and share your answers. Very clean. Other books that I would say is books by Michael Bader, also very clean. I want to clarify something. When I recommend sex books, very often books on the topic of sex, very often people begin to say it has all these dirty ideas and da-da-da. It doesn't. These books are very factual. They're very clear. It's not erotica. It's not porn. It's good books about helping you navigate whatever questions that you have about your sexuality. Couples, singles, whichever.
Beautiful.
So Michael Bader, his books are amazing. It's called Male Sexuality, Why Women Don't Understand It and Men Don't Either. And then he also has one called Arousal.
Good, so if
Those
they both
books are
don't
amazing.
understand it, they're
When me
happy.
and Neil were coming up before you guys were born, there was a book that said she's from Venus. And
Yeah, that's very famous as well. Also very
that
clear.
is a
Men
good
are from
book?
Mars,
That really-
women are
that
from
really-
Venus.
That is a good book.
I
Yeah,
haven't read
that's
it, so
old.
I can't recommend it. I read.
I
yeah,
always
more of
say
the newer
that I
ones.
always say that book is titled wrong because it implies that we're both from the same solar system.
Okay, let's
Oh my
take a
God.
caller. Esty, take a caller.
Okay, I just wanted to say one thing though. By the way, I think it's great, like if a guy could just read like a romance novel, because I feel in every one it explains exactly what both things.
Nah.
Maybe
I
it's
don't
an
go for
extreme.
the
No, no.
romance models.
Maybe it's an extreme
romance,
version. I feel like
books.
guys would get a little bit more right if they just read one book, just one romance novel.
There are other books that you can read, and you don't need to read a romance novel because it's not realistic. I actually just blogged about it last week, so it's funny that you bring it up. It's not realistic. In the romance novel, for some reason, the guy and the girl always seem to know what each other
Yeah.
needs.
That's
That's
not-
not in real life. You need to talk, and you need to share, and you need to say what you want and what you need.
I don't like
There's
that.
no mind reading. There's no magical thinking.
Sometimes it's mind reading.
So no.
If they're good at it. It's common
So
sense
you're creating
almost.
this beautiful fantasy.
I don't know what to do with it. Push a button.
So yeah,
Esty.
again, you guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
With our special guest, Sarah Shapiro-Halberstam.
Yes. Hello, David. You're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Hey everyone, it's David in Manhattan. How are you?
Hello,
Hello.
Dave.
David, what's up?
What's up?
Thanks for coming in. Everybody's waiting for your call.
I gotta listen for 10 weeks. I come back and this week you're talking about what am I missing the last 10 weeks?
Life will go on, trust me.
Serious stuff. A couple of points. First of all, from earlier on in the show, Guy Member, that's now been trademarked. I will be selling T-shirts with that on. But,
What? Say that again?
so I said earlier, instead of when discussing.
Oh, the Guy member, and you should, and we will
Guy Member, that's
and we will allow you to
I
put the
said,
Just Enough Heshy logo.
You
in the
have to
corner.
say it with the James Bond. I told you. You have to say member.
fine.
Guy member.
Yeah,
Come on.
Just for Z, right? Yeah.
That's his fault. That guy over there.
Right, the producer. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, he's having a lot of issues today.
So that was the first. Second of all, it's interesting to see. I don't know how it's being split in the conversation. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to how this specifically has been split. But in terms of the number of married women that cheat versus the percentage of the married men that cheat, there's only a difference of about 6% statistically.
Yeah, so I did.
Historic statistics. I think it's a little overblown. I do 100% agree
Right,
with
okay,
you.
so can I jump
Why
in a
men women
second?
cheat? Yeah, sure.
So I did my first small study, which was qualitative study. It was anonymous surveys, and people responded if they have. There was a bunch of questions, but one of the basic questions were, "Have you ever cheated on your spouse?" And there was, I have to say, the numbers were pretty much equal between men and women. It was not a big disparity.
What's the percentage?
So
50% and above?
No, I wouldn't say it was a very small scale. So I don't want to give percentage, but it was maybe off by like 5 people.
But I read somewhere that 50% of American couples are cheating on each other.
Oh, you're talking about couples. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the difference between the men and the women. There wasn't a big difference.
Right. Also, Heshy, let's not get into statistics because you can manipulate any statistic any way you want.
Right on point. Right on point.
I mean,
You can also make them up.
Right. Well, you can also make them up, but you don't even need
83% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Right. Another thing about what you said about Facebook before I thought was a very, very smart comment.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who posts on Facebook a lot.
No. Well, as a friend of mine said recently, I think it's a very good line. They said, if you compare your life to Facebook, it's like you're comparing your day-to-day with these people's highlight reel. And
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. Because on Facebook, everything looks glamorous.
Awesome.
Right.
That's not true.
It is.
My life is really glamorous with all the pictures.
You guys do that. I see people on Facebook that have problems. I have one girl that sent me an email, Facebook thing was on all of our pages. I'm depressed today, and everybody said to her, and everybody said to her,
and we
feel better.
You know, but you know what? We use other people's problems to make ourselves feel better.
No,
also,
we're supposed to give advice. Somebody came on. She wanted. Yeah.
This is how Maury Povich and Jerry Springer in business, actually, because this is people watch it. It's called pornography. You watch it because it makes you feel better about your life.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about those people, but I'm saying in general, if you look at Facebook, right, everything that people post, I know people personally are going through major issues. You look at their shared Facebook page. Oh, they're living the life. Okay,
it's called the Facebook romance.
Exactly.
It's called the Facebook
They're
romance.
out having a beautiful dinner, and really their marriage is falling apart. But you don't see that. You see the picture of them kissing
now
each
we
other.
sound like a bunch of haters. So let's cut back on it. But definitely, I agree.
I have one question, just that I'd like to hear your thoughts and a discussion. One comment and one question. The comment is: does anyone else notice that Norman sounds like an even more depressed Howard Stern?
Oh wow! Terrible.
No, but you know what I'm saying?
I'm disappointed with
Norman's a good man.
He's a good man. He just doesn't.
No, he doesn't agree with you, but he's a good man. He has good intentions.
The way he sounds, I wasn't saying about him. The way he sounds like Howard Stern.
Okay.
In terms of the question, so one thing that there was some discussion of, and I just want to, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say to really clarify the dichotomy between, because before we were talking about, you know, oh, this is not discussing religious issues, not discussing anything like that, but then you guys jumped into a discussion about, you know, someone walks into their proverbial teenage son or daughter's room, sees them masturbating, and then bringing that up. Now, Heshy, for all I know, you have hundreds of thousands of irreligious listeners. God bless you. I have no idea. But my assumption, I think it's a fair one, is that most of the people listening are of some level of religion, and I'd be very interested to hear everyone's thoughts on the dichotomy between explaining sexual health and healthy body image while still remaining within the framework of religion.
Yeah, it's a very hard balance. It's extremely hard.
It's extremely difficult, but I also think that it's very practical. I disagree with that.
Don't turn back the clock to when you were 14.
Thank you for your call, David. And I'm going to give everybody.
Thanks for calling, David.
I'm going to get, before I turn over to Sam, I'm going to give everybody my solution to this problem. We know.
Sex. That's his solution.
By the way, guy member is my code. But the point is, this is my solution. You're right. When you have sex, you've committed a sin. Especially wait, stop. Not when you've had sex as a teenager. In your brain, your rabbis and your teachers have told you've committed a sin. You're right. Guilty. You're guilty. You're dirty. No problem.
You see, this is why I have messed up views.
Stop.
Let him
finish. Wake up the next morning. You have a right to go to your church, your mosque, your synagogue, and ask for forgiveness. And to me, every time I've felt bad or had a bad thought or did something bad, I went to my synagogue. I prayed for forgiveness, and I felt better. And that's what it is. God forgives. God will forgive. It's not a bad thing to have sex, but if you feel bad that you did something wrong, fix it. And fix it with your God, because God won't punish you.
Can I just say
God
something?
does not strike lightning on you when you do it.
Can I say something? Because you're jumping to the extreme that once a girl has sex, she feels guilty and dirty. I think that it starts at a way, lesser level, where a girl basically is doing next to nothing, like, oh my gosh, she touched the boy, she kissed the boy, this or that,
And then they think that
exactly, they feel that they're already like, a terrible person, and they just go on and do God knows what. Well, meanwhile, the girls that grow up, when they're already, in a more modern setting where they're already, they're already touching and they're already kissing, a lot of them draw the line there because they at least have some sort of outlet and they don't feel guilty about it, and then they actually are the ones that are saving themselves
where's
for
the
marriage.
line? I mean, you can always have people have different lines.
Fine.
People
Right,
say
and
first base, second base.
and that's the
first
parents.
seat or the back.
Right.
I think that's where parents begin to have conversations about what is okay and not okay in their home. The problem is that no conversations are being had. The only time these conversations are being had is when the child crossed the line.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to jump back a second because I was arguing with the producer back there. I did not say that rabbi said porn is fine. I want to clarify that. What
Yeah, a lot
they
of
did
people
say
texted
was
me about that, by
that
the way.
they don't freak out. They don't panic. They work with a couple. The rabbis that I've interviewed have been amazingly supportive. They are amazingly supportive to the couples that they work with. And they don't freak out. They don't panic. They will say if a guy is watching porn excessively, then they kind of feel like this is kind of hopeless because the wife cannot compete.
Anything you do excessively.
Everything, exactly. Sex is about what am I doing with it? When am I doing this? And that's where good and bad kind of comes in. So I want to clarify the porn concept, that they don't freak out. They will deal with it.
They accept that it's a thing.
Like you said, go and ask for forgiveness. I don't think they say that, but it's kind of that it's something that can be worked at. It's very different than infidelity. When a couple comes in and says one of us cheated, that's very different than porn.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you about that. What do you think as far as porn considered cheating or bad? Because I've had all sorts of relationships.
Cheating. Porn is not cheating.
I've been in relationships with girls who were adamant that it's terrible and it's just as bad as cheating and it's emotional and this and that. And I don't think they understand the way guys look at it, that we do not have any sort of emotional connection.
As long as you physically didn't touch another woman or man, you did not cheat according to any
agree with you,
religious or non-religious or any court.
Some girls are adamantly opposed to their boyfriend or husband watching porn.
So
I think it's preposterous.
That's when it becomes an issue. If you are a married couple or not married, or you're in a relationship and one partner is watching porn and the other partner is not okay with it, this is something that needs to be dealt with.
No, but who's right and who's wrong?
Why? My wife doesn't like to watch Survivor, and I do. Too bad.
So that's you to decide, but some couples are not okay with that. When I did my survey and I asked, do you find, what do you find? Do you find going to a strip club cheating? Do you find masturbating cheating? What do you find? And porn was one of the questions, and a large percent answered that if their spouse watches porn without their consent, they find that to be cheating.
And I think it's crazy because it's not their fault. It's because women look at it differently. They can't fathom the way that men look at porn as a completely physical thing.
That's why there needs to be a conversation.
There's no emotion. They think we're having some sort of like emotional connection. The second that computer is off, you're not thinking. You don't even know that it's totally physical. And women can't process that because they don't look at it the same way. They don't have that in their brain.
You're listening to the Just Enough Heshy show, and SD, while you're coloring, what number do they call?
718-303-9090.
Sarah, we're running out of little time, so we want to take a few more calls.
Okay, I just had one question though.
Go ahead.
Wait, before you go with your question, I want to say my friends are all texting. They're having the time of their life.
Oh, welcome, friends, and you should always listen to the show.
One friend is not sure how this is a from radio. Is this a from radio?
It's not specifically. It's just Jews listen to it because we're Jewish.
We are educators to the world. Tell them, Neil, we love everybody. I don't believe in America. I believe in the world, and I'm a citizen of this planet.
Okay. So
well, not this planet, but a planet.
If you're listening, that's the answer.
So hold on. I just had a quick question. So do you think that people would regret only having sex with one partner, like waiting for marriage? Like, is that like, at the same time, they're like, you don't want to be able to compare, but at the same time, like never, like only one person, like maybe.
So I think if you're in a good relationship and a healthy relationship, and this is like with the research that I've done and the questions I've been asking, if you're in a healthy relationship, then no, you don't regret it. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, you start going back and thinking about 1,000 different things that you would have wanted to do and should have done.
But isn't it safer though to just do it with someone else just in case, so you don't feel oh, I didn't experience it. No, it's not a problem. A worry.
Do people?
That's kind of a twisted way of thinking about things.
Do people regret, especially young girls, that they screwed around before they got married and they shouldn't have done it? They should have waited.
I actually have not worked with any young girls who
Not young
had this
girls, women,
experience.
20, 30, 40. Oh, I shouldn't have screwed around because I wasted it back then. I should have enjoyed it. I should have waited for marriage.
I haven't. I can't speak to that because I haven't had any of that
I
experience.
think it's
I've had
usually
the negative side of it.
Usually, I think it's people have a problem with the fact that. Sorry, what? Please say so. Sorry, what were you saying a second ago?
So when people are in unhealthy relationships and they are like a lot of the rabbis that I interviewed kept saying about selfishness. If you come into the relationship selfish, that I am here to get and I am here to pleasure myself and I am here to be pleased, then yeah, you're going to regret everything you do and everything in your life is going to suck. It's not.
So it's usually the first person that they ended up doing it with wasn't worth it. But if they found someone, let's say someone's dating for like 3 years and they end up having sex with them, I don't think they regret it. It's more they regret it if that person turned out to be an idiot.
Push a button.
So yeah, you guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Yeah. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the doctor a question.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor yet. On my way, but not there yet.
On her way. You see, this is a classy show. Go ahead.
So I want to ask the future doctor a question. First of all, in all of your marriage counseling sessions, have you ever asked the couples whether if they had to do it over again, they would marry the same couple?
That's a good question.
Very good
By the way,
question.
you should add that to your questionnaire. That'd be brilliant.
Thank you. That was a great question.
That's a very good question. I definitely am going to add that in my questionnaire. I appreciate that question. I did not ask my couples that. We follow a specific pattern. We follow imago therapy, so we follow strictly the workbook.
What does that mean, imago therapy?
Imago therapy is kind of looking at why did we come into this relationship? What were we hoping to gain? What parts of us were we trying to heal? And now it's not working. Why? We talk a lot about communication, having communications around what's upsetting us and what's annoying us and what's disappointing us. And you can definitely look online on Amazon. There are some amazing books on imago therapy. So I haven't asked that in couples counseling. I will add that to my survey because that's a really good question, and thank you.
Take another call, Esty, but we got a few more minutes.
Okay. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Hi, I just want to tell you guys, I really learned a lot tonight, and you did such a good show. It's very good, it's very open, and you answer a lot of questions that I was wondering all these years.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cole. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
And now we're coming down to the last couple minutes, so I was waiting to save this, and I know I'm going to upset all of you, and I really, I don't want to affect my future, but here's my problem. A lot of, and there's a story in today's paper, and I want to start with this. There was a Bronx teenager. She got $45,000 because a police officer followed her and tried to get a date with her. She brushed him off, but you know what she did. She enticed him. She excited him. Wait. She flaunted her thing, and she's always he made a comment. She made a comment, and she walked away, and he followed her. Again, she says, "Oh, you're a cop?" And he says, "Yes, I am." And then he arrested her and put her through the whole system. And she basically, this pig made her suffer. Now, you're right, abusing women. You're right. I showed you the report when you came in that sex crimes. There's and again, you pig, Mr. Bratton. You want to give out tickets for crapping on the street and stuff and throwing litter on the street. You put your extra cops, put your extra inspectors to stop crime, stop shooting.
It's de Blasio.
It's not de Blasio. It's your commissioner that wants to tap.
Stop and frisk.
Is no
Murder
good.
is up 20% in the city.
Because you're not protecting us. You're giving us tickets and you're punishing us with stupid crimes instead of and clogging the courts with stupidity instead of going after the gang members. Oh no, let's coddle the gang members. Let's put them into little clubs and let's give them free pizza so we can be good to them. No, then you put it down.
How does this fit into your sex therapy?
Here's my sex therapy. The problem is a lot of these young girls, again, you're going to get upset with me, and I'm not talking only the non-religious, I'm talking religious girls. They dress this sexy sex. They open that extra button modestly, you know what I mean? They wear the fancy wigs, and you know we're looking. You know you're excited.
That's a whole
You
nother.
know what? Excuse me. You know that you are forcing us.
Oh,
to
you
do-
want the burqa?
You are forcing us.
You want the burqa?
Stop it. You are forcing.
Stop what?
You are forcing us
so
to
you're
commit these
taking the
crimes.
classic.
Oh,
you're
right.
taking the classic blaming the victim route.
Victim. She's not a victim.
So
Right, she wants you.
So okay, so there is the part where we can say yes, girls need to keep in mind what are you
And
selling.
men are not
Why
the
don't we just
victim.
keep this in the middle?
Men are not the victim.
That way
Why are men
punk heads-
victims?
What do you mean? You are abusing our psyche. You're flaunting. You're torturing us.
That's because of the society that we live in, that we've decided that men, if I put something in front of you and it looks sexy, I have a right to it because it looks sexy, which means it belongs to me. That's very wrong. No, it doesn't. But in society, we decided that men are above women and they kind of can capture whatever it is that they want. So we're telling women,
Men, did you just say men are above women?
no.
I heard that.
The
She just said
society
men.
has decided that men get access to
More
women.
rights or something. Yeah.
That men get access to women. So instead of saying, no, men, how about you begin to control your impulses and how about you begin to
Man
control
up.
yourself? We're telling women, no, dress in rags, don't look sexy. No, we should
I
look
didn't
sexy.
say that. I
These
didn't
are
say-
our
We
bodies.
should look sexy,
own
but we're not a
it.
buffet for random men.
Okay, so
Okay, so
I'm
that's
gonna-
up
What
to
do you
you.
think about that video of the girl walking through Manhattan with all the guys, you know?
Oh, okay. Listen,
calling her
I'm
or whatever?
bothered by that too because it's annoying.
What is it though?
It's annoying. So this woman kind of made a video of she's walking through Manhattan and all the guys who are like
Not all the guys.
catcalling her.
Certain
A
guys.
whole bunch of guys catcalling her. Yeah, look, I spoke to Rabbi Wallerstein a while ago, and this is what he told me. He said,
Oh,
girls
God.
need to be aware. I like him. Girls need to be aware of what they're selling. So that's up to you. If you want
so
to
the girl,
sell,
hold on. Now we get to my favorite subject. So women are a product to be sold.
no, they're not. I never said
And to
that.
people- you
I
just
never
told
said
me.
that. I said in an analogy, you need to be aware. What am I giving? What do I want you to notice about me? Do I want you to notice my sexy body? And that's fine if you want that.
I want to
That's
take.
perfectly
okay,
fine.
I got you.
Or do you want me to know? Or do you want to notice something else about me?
wanna
And then I will pitch that.
I want to take another caller before we finish up.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to ask. Well, before you do that, the caller will be right with you. I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
We've been fighting this fight for the last few months.
Mhm.
I'm going to be opening up a club.
Oh,
My
God, and
wait. My club is called Club Kurva. Kurva doesn't mean
What does it
whore.
mean?
It doesn't mean whore. It means
whore.
But it does, though.
It means prostitute.
No, it doesn't. So, anyways, I'm gonna
What
have.
could go wrong? Club prostitute.
Okay, anyways, I'm going to have a rule that is going to be a big sign on top of Club Kurva that no woman can come in without saying 3 magic words.
Yeah.
Did he disconnect them
And the
purposely?
3 magic words is I'm a Kurva.
Shut it off. Yeah.
If you say these magic words,
Mhm.
you're gonna come in.
And you get a free drink.
I promise you that not only will the women come flocking, they're gonna come flocking dressed like Kurvas, and the best dressed Kurva, of course, will win the
What's
president.
your point?
My point is that the women do sell themselves. They
All the
are.
time.
But if you make the choice to sell yourself, I'm cool with that.
They
If
like
you
to wear
choose,
revealing.
I want to be noticed. That's your.
Yeah,
that's
but then they
you. You
complain
choose that.
when you do notice.
Right.
They wear
They do
low-cut
cry.
dresses, and when the guy is looking at her, they go, "What are you looking
Yeah,
at, you
and when
pervert?"
the
Well,
guy- and
your
when the
boobs
guy-
are in my face.
Yeah, and
You know what my problem is? That guys will say stuff not in the low cut shirts.
Okay, but that's not
my
what we're
problem.
talking about.
So
Okay.
you're talking about the low cut shirts?
I'm talking
How
about.
about guys begin to focus on themselves and women get to flaunt their bodies because they can, because it's theirs.
But who are
and
they
belongs
flaunting it
them.
to if it's not for the
Who are they
guys?
flaunting it to?
Their friends.
Oh, stop.
Oh, because the girls
Oh,
want their.
stop.
That's
She's
a load of
making-
crap. She can't even hold a straight
Take
face when
another
she
call,
says
Ashley. We
that.
got
But
one.
yeah, I just want to say you guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy show. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Hey,
We've only got a few seconds, so hurry it up.
Okay, quick. This is Naftali. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you for calling.
First thing, I know you said selling. Selling is like as a metaphor. Of course, you can't see the mind until the physical until you see the physical door open. That's what selling. The physical opens the door to selling the intellectual. But
It
anyway,
doesn't have to be like that.
well, it doesn't have to be. The other thing I want to ask the expert is this: my fiance is in Ukraine. I'm in New York.
Wow.
How about the dynamic of how loyal each of us
Long
are?
distance.
Yes, and we've known each other 5 years, and we've gone through a few things. How does the expert deal with that dynamic as time goes by and the war started and mom is sick? Any suggestions on being loyal over an international long distance relationship?
Long distance, like almost never
How
works.
about let the expert that knows what she's talking about answer this one?
So this is kind of back to the conversation that I had about polyamory and swinging. These are the type of relationships that needs an intense amount of emotional work. And a ton of communication, a ton of introspection, communication over and over and over, and agreeing with each other what's okay, what's not okay. Is porn okay? Is porn not okay? Is masturbating okay? Is masturbating not okay? Etc. There has to be constant communication for a relationship like this to work. Best of luck.
Well, everybody, Neil was quiet. I even shut up Neil for a while. You were listening to the Just Enough Heshy show. I hope you had a good time. I know that.
I hope it was informative.
I hope it was informative. My producer wasn't too happy. We're going to be in big trouble tonight because he usually pays for dinner. But I think tonight's going to be me. And please tune in again next week between 7 and 9 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday nights. Sarah, you're always welcome to come.
And we're going to have a special guest next week.
I'm looking forward.
We're going to have a special guest, and you're going to be surprised at who's coming on next week. You're all going to freak out at this one. So you better tune in. We had a lot of live viewers on YouTube. The producer got very upset about that as well. But you can rewatch it. And I'm going to give you my closing quote for the night. And here we go. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born, and the day you find out why. The world is changing very fast. Big will not beat small anymore. It will be the fast that's beating the slow. And I'm going to close with this final things. Life has misfortunes. Life is thickly sown with thorns. And I know no other remedy than to pass through them quickly. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater it is their power to harm us. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Just Enough Heshy show. I know that you have hard times. This is a serious subject we talk. We made a little bit of light of it, but Sarah is a serious therapist.
She has very serious glasses.
Very serious issues. And I know that we made a little joke just to lighten it up for you. But I'm telling you now that lots of people have these problems. If you need to speak to Sarah.
And there are many nonprofit organizations that are out there to help you.
Right, and there's even...
Because nonprofit's the best profit.
Yeah, you got
Again,
it.
We're going to close that. Sarah Shapiro Halberstam could be reached at Sarah, S-A-R-A, at mytherapist, mytherapist.info. Please, Z, post it on the Just Enough Heshy site.
And thanks for coming.
And thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.
The preceding program is a paid advertisement. The opinions and views expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of